What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 11 SW Chapter 16, The Siege of the Six Captains, the capture of Kizaru project successfully. Advertisement, Father, something has happened. When Marco connected the signal and projected the scene of Sabodi, he suddenly exclaimed. What did he see? A headless corpse wearing Celestial Dragon's costume fell in front of the two lowly. And further away, there is also a skull with a bubble mask. A Celestial Dragon's died? Don't panic, Marco. 3 years later, Whitebeard abandoned his pirate hat and put on a black headgear. When Whitebeard walked and took a look at the screen, his expression also condensed, and a strange color flashed in his eyes. Goo la 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 la, a Celestial Dragon's died. This is really the first time I have seen you. Come on, I won't be drunk tonight. Then Whitebeard laughed, and then his sons laughed. Marco was also suddenly, yeah, isn't it just right for Celestial Dragons to die? It's best to die all. Marco looked at the screen again and said weirdly, Father, look at this scene. It seems that Celestial Dragons was killed by their two little girls. Huh? Really? Whitebeard took a closer look and laughed loudly. Hey, la la la, the old man suddenly wants to add 2 daughters. Whitebeard, Hinata, come and be my daughter, little Hinata. Talk to my teacher Kagaya. What a brave little girl. Whether they did it or not, Whitebeard showed great admiration. Few others could stand calm beside the corpse of 1 or 6 7 dragons. For a time, pirates on the mobile, they all sat down and watched the live broadcast. Cake Island. Kata Curry, who is nearly 30 years old, glanced at the screen and then said, Where is my mother? Cracker coughed slightly. Mom is exercising. Kata Curry was speechless. It's still broad daylight, isn't it tired? 12-year-old Charlotte Garrett brushed her long pink hair lightly, patted her little hand in admiration and said, Mom is so strong, and I'm still working hard. I have to work hard to learn from my mother. Looking at Garrett's innocence, as calm as Kata Curry, his eyes twitched. My dear sister, you can never learn from your mother. Mom's exercise is not healthy. Glancing at the screen, Kata Curry said in a deep voice, no matter if they die today or not, let me remember what they looked like and avoid them as much as possible. Smokey frowned. It's not necessary, right? No, we can't entangle lunatics, it's meaningless. Kata Curry's words made everyone understand. Even Celestial Dragons dare to kill. This is crazier than Kaido. It's fatal. Kaido did not watch the live broadcast. Fall asleep because of drunk. The subordinates didn't want to wake up either. In case Kaido got interested, they might have to fly to Sabodi to make a fuss. Celestial Dragons are all dead. Boss Kaido, let's wash and sleep. When the wretched Revolutionary Army saw the live broadcast, the cadres headed by Dorag became excited. Celestial Dragons is dead, and the opportunity to grow stronger is here. Quickly, send this live signal out, as far as it can go. I want the world to know that Celestial Dragons are not gods, and they will die too. Contact Morgans and ask him to print the newspaper. We will spread it and it will not affect him. The calm Dorag couldn't help but feel surging in his heart. In this era of rampage, let our Revolutionary Army push it. Sabodi Archipelago. Completely confused. Huang Yuan is blocked by Obito, and Obito with Hollow Kamui can easily face any opponent. Before Kong Kong and others arrived, White Zetsu held the loudspeaker and yelled at the videophone worm. Hello, people all over the world, I am White Zetsu, the Minister of Intelligence of the Holy Empire. A Celestial Dragon's B*********D was killed by Hyuga Hinata, the 3rd captain of the Holy Empire's sacred troops, and the Assistant Secretary of the Holy Empire Emperor. Alright, do not biffle anymore, officially inform the world. The Holy Empire declares war on the world government. No matter how many people are sent by the world government today, my Holy Empire will take over. Above. Wow. White Zetsu's voice spread to all connected signal locations around the world. Both civilians and pirates were shocked. There have been too many provocations against the world government in the past, but they have never faced the provocation of the whole world on live broadcasts like this. Also killed the Celestial Dragons. Countless people have remembered the Holy Empire. Kizaru's face was suddenly sullen. Can you guys stop taking pictures of me? I don't want to be famous. It's okay at other times, but the body of Celestial Dragons is in front. He couldn't even get the body back, and he could not figure out what the people above thought of him. Demotion? Removal? Wage deductions? Go to jail? Or even put into death? For those mentally disabled Celestial Dragons, this is possible. Looking at Kizaru, who was frowning, Obito couldn't help but smile. Join the Holy Empire, the treatment is favorable. I want to struggle again. Kizaru said so, God knows if the Holy Empire is 2 or 3 big cats and kittens. If you stand in random lines, you will die. Can I trouble you to get out? Let me take his body away. While Kizaru spoke, he rushed towards the body of Celestial Dragons. Obito didn't seem to see it. Holy Scythe of Lost March. A mirror knife like spiritual arrow shot from a distance, Kizaru's eyelids jumped, and he rolled over to escape. Dead bone pulse 10 finger piercing, Kizaru just hid. 10 phalanxes came with spiritual power again, sword pressure, Uchiha Luji and Yuyan. Kizaru frowned and turned around. I saw dozens of dense and huge slashes, which turned into flames and raging coming. Advertisement however, these are all minor problems. With his experience and color, he assisted Sparkling Fruit, and there were few attacks that he couldn't dodge. Kamui. Just when Kizaru was about to dodge, a spatial vortex formed directly in front of him, rapidly twisting his body. Not good. Kizaru is extremely afraid of space abilities. If part of the body is drawn into the space Uzumaki, he can't imagine that his elementalization can't hold it. Wow. Kizaru's whole body is photonized. The smallest element particles escape the space Uzumaki. Also at this moment, Ryotsu broke out. The 6 paths figure surrounded the yellow monkey, and Ryotsu crossed together and burst out. Boom. The 6 tyrannical Ryotsu fusion instantly shattered the earth, and even gave the photonized Kizaru a fierce soul impact. Puff. The photon condensed Kizaru's figure, and he knelt on the ground suddenly, with a look of horror. He feels on it. No, there is no problem physically. But it is difficult to get up. It seemed that countless mountains were pressing against him. It was a kind of oppression from the soul. Can break free, but at least you have to get used to it. But Obito and others will not give him time to adapt. Kamui. Space Uzumaki appeared again. At the moment when Kizaru was stagnant, Uzumaki swallowed Kizaru directly by the huge space. Buzzing. The moment when the space Uzumaki closes. All those who watched the live broadcast were stunned. What just happened? That is one of the world-famous 3 marine monster Vice Admiral's popular candidate, Pelusalino, right? Damn it, it's space ability again. Inside the naval headquarters, Akainu, who was staying behind, saw the live broadcast image so angry that it exploded. Zero. Garp stopped eating senbei and frowned. Why did Kizaru kneel on the ground and pause? If it is not stopped in place, at the speed of Kizaru, how can I escape that space Uzumaki? Those 6 people seem to have erupted into something weirder than conquerors. That kind of aura must be very heavy, and it has stopped Kizaru, who has never felt it. Crane analyzed, but he was a little worried. The abilities that these people just demonstrated were unheard of, except for Devil Fruit. Has the Holy Empire found a new source of power? Why me again? At this moment, Kamui is in a different space. After Kizaru turned around, he found that it was another completely enclosed space, and he couldn't get out at all. It was much smaller than the heavenly Yuchu once performed by Kagaya, and it was extremely gloomy. He has no ability to break the space. There's no food again. I can't get out again. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, I will starve to death for a few months at most. Kizaru thought that after 2 months he was hungry into ribs, and he couldn't help feeling cold. The people of the Holy Empire are too cruel. Everyone, I caught the monkey. It's all my credit. Are you okay? Uchiha Obito held his arms, raised his head, and his tone was very screaming. Kimimaro ignored it. Shisui took charge. But Hidan glared. If you don't have a Ryotsu, you can crush that guy on the ground alone. You think you are the Uncle Class? Deidara drew out the knife. Just you, the thick-skinned, I can't cut it for a day. Might Guy was also speechless. Please be a man. As you say, that guy is in my hands anyway. Your Majesty never looks at the process. Obito said that his face cannot be eaten as a meal. Anyway, the credit is in hand. I walk sideways. Robin in the distance couldn't help but muttered with curiosity. Sister Hinata, are the captains like this? She just became Lan Yu's assistant secretary not long ago. I don't know much about the character of the commander of the Sacred Army and the high-level officers of the Navy, Land, and Air Forces. It is said that they have been playing since childhood. Hinata said something and looked forward immediately. Obito and others also looked over. Boom boom boom. 5.7 The 3 figures rushed in quickly, and the sound of breaking through the air rang out, showing the ferocity of the coming. No, it's not 3 ways. Brush and brush. In the other direction, 5 people in white suits also came, followed by a group of black clothes that were not weak. Die to me. Before the person arrived, an extremely powerful shockwave struck from a distance, destroying all the places he passed, and crushing it. There are top-level powerhouses and an angry shot. This punch is really strong enough. Deidara sighed, but didn't make a move. Because Hyuga Hinata is ready to fight, 30 gods airstrike. When the punch hit, Hinata slapped in the air. The tyrannical spiritual power exploded in the palm, directly smashing the atmosphere, and blasting out dozens of huge vacuum fists. Carrying overwhelming power and rushing forward, boom. One punch collided with dozens of punches and directly burst the audience, triggering a grand airwave. Rolled up the monstrous dust. Wow, this little girl is so good. Whitebeard's laughter rang out from the Moby DK. When the dust is gone, 3 people in marine coats stood opposite Hinata and others, and a group of CP members were indifferent to each other. Sengoku. Chingshong. Kong empty. Chapter 17. Conqueror's Entanglement. Sengoku of Buddha awakens, killing the island. Advertisement, Marshal Marine, Kong, Marine Admiral, Sengoku of Buddha. And the monster Vice Admiral, Kuzan. When they saw the appearance of the 3 marine bosses, people from all over the world who watched the live broadcast were shocked. Sengoku of Buddha, Whitebeard's old opponent. Kong, in the first 2 years of Roger's execution, the old man fought against the lonely Red Letterfield, who was on par with Roger and Whitebeard on his own. Although he was defeated, he also exhausted all of the opponent's physical strength. Vice Admiral Aokiji, only a few merits can reach the top of Admiral's marine monster. The combination of 3 monsters is enough to kill anyone in the world. As for the other CPO members, they were ignored by the audience. Goo la 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 la, Haven't seen you for many years, Sengoku, this old guy is still admiral, just come and be a pirate with me. On the Moby DK, Whitebeard smiled happily, playing with Marine, life was awful, no future. And in the picture, even across the screen, everyone felt a great sense of oppression. Hyuga Hinata. If you read it right, it was this little girl who broke her boxing power just now, and Kong Kong couldn't help frowning. It's so strong when it's so small, simply unreasonable. There are also Obito Shisui and others, making Sengoku frown. It seems that there are many elites in the Holy Empire. Listen to the people of the Holy Empire. From now on, the world government and you will never stop dying, wait for the end. 5 CPO members, as well as dozens of elites from other CP organizations, are hostile to Ruo Hinata and others. White Zetsu 07 while playing with the videophone bug, he said, is the nonsense done? Take it to death. Kick at the speed of light, White Zetsu raised his foot. The grand golden beam directly blasted on the corpse of celestial dragons, exploding into blood mist. This scene, Kuzan and others raised their brows. The CP members were angry. Kill them. 5 CPO members rushed to White Zetsu first. No way. Hidan, Might Guy, Shisui, Kimimaro, and even Robin all met a CP0. Little Robin may not be able to beat CP0, but he has no problem dealing with it. Chi. Seeing the dozens of remaining CP members coming, Hinata's azure blue Tensigan flashed. A space channel opens. Wow, the white torrent swept out. The 3rd squadron of the Holy Soldiers joins. Zuoming, Shiro, Gaara, Shikamaru, Neji, Shuei, No Slash, Yamato and others are all in the 3rd team. Thousands of people besieged CP members, its space ability again. Seeing this scene, Sengoku and others are solemn. What is the source of their ability? Fighting the number of ants. No matter how many ants there are, it is still ants. Some of the celestial dragons and 5 elders who watched the live broadcast by Marijoy were indifferent. A ridiculous strategy. If the order continues, 10 more CP0s will be sent over, and 1 will not be kept. CPO is hailed as the strongest shield of celestial dragons. Each of them is a top-level powerhouse and only obeys celestial dragons. So far away, I feel chilly, you are so cold. Deidara smiled and walked towards Aokiji. When it was more than 10 meters away from Aokiji, Deidara was surprised. You are all 3 meters tall, right? What did you grow up with? Ching Shang shrugged lazily, it should be said that you are too short. Quack. Before the words fell, Ching Shang released 5 huge icicles from his palms and threw them at Deidara. If you start so soon, are you ready to die? Deidara disappeared in place in a flash. Fei Lian feet. Nice speed. Seeing Deidara directly above his head, Ching Shang raised his hand and released a wide range of air conditioning. Freeze time. Senbaihan gas turned into a torrent. All the way through, the layers were frozen, covering all the places where Deidara was. Crack. To Aokiji's surprise, Deidara was directly frozen in the sky. So easy. Although thinking about it this way, Aokiji wouldn't stop, he just volleyed when he lifted it up. Boom. The ice sculpture smashed directly, also at this moment. Holy Lost C2 Dragon. 4 huge arrows, like dragon-headed arrows, attacked from all sides into streamers. Aokiji saw and heard the color and perceives it, and he also looked down, and couldn't help but say different things. A Deidara stood on the front, back, left, and right, and released the attack at the same time. Clone ability. When Aokiji was surprised, Deidara burst out. Art is an explosion, drink. Boom. The 4 shots were sacred and destroyed by the evolution of Deidara's extended skills and exploded directly in midair. A dazzling white light exploded in the air instantly, making the eardrums neigh. The tyrannical aftermath caused the CP members in the distance to retreat. Kuzan. Sengoku, who was not far away, blocked the aftermath and called out quickly. Just after seeing 4 Deidara appear, he was lost for a moment. Rather than worry about the humanoid ice cube, worry about yourself. Spirit Fire style blasting wind flurry. Obito used Kamui to twist the surrounding space and create a storm, then raised his hand and waved a huge fire snake to attack. Firestorm hit Sengoku. Advertisement, how come all elemental attacks? Sengoku lost his voice, which completely shattered his worldview. The moves of the Saints of the 3rd Brigade also dazzled audiences from all over the world. Various elements such as wind, fire, thunder, earth, wood, water, ice, light, sacred extinction, etc. were released with overwhelming waves. No audience can stay calm, never leave you. As the flame struck, Sengoku's body glowed with dazzling golden light. Zone everyone fruit you demon's big Buddha form. Hey, it's too dazzling, even more dazzling than that monkey. Seeing the huge golden Buddha appeared, Obito couldn't help but complain. Die. Sengoku said that he didn't want to talk to Obito, and raising his hand was a shockwave of horror. Boom. The tyrannical shockwave destroyed the storm flames, and smashed the earth unabatedly, hitting Obito directly. Boom. The shockwave penetrated Obito and formed a huge ditch with no end in sight behind him, rushing to the sea with sound. The whole Saboti trembled. Damn it, but such a powerful blow made Sengoku crazy. The attack is completely ineffective. Obito stood on the spot intact, glanced back, and couldn't help but stun. Fortunately, I can ignore the attack, otherwise it will be great to take it. Sengoku's face turned black into charcoal. White Zetsu once showed at the Marine headquarters that Hollow is a headache and can't hit people at all. No, any ability has weaknesses. Soon, Sengoku calmed down and showed a strong aura. Boom. A storm centered on Sengoku, suddenly spread, and mixed with black and red lightning swept the entire battlefield. Click. The momentum like a tsunami. The surrounding buildings began to crack. Puff, puff, puff. Wherever the substantive aura passed, the people who fled by Sabodi appeared one after another by Kugan, fainting to death on the ground. Conquerors. Rayleigh, who was hiding in the distance, raised his brow slightly. As expected to be one of the strongest players at the top, Sengoku's Conquerors is extremely tyrannical. Life card, Sengoku has Conquerors, that's it? Feeling Conquerors, Obito was not affected at all, and said, why is this kind of aura released? Even a soldier can't die. This guy, Rayleigh's eyes twitched. Pay the price for your ignorance. Sengoku snorted coldly, and the figure of the Golden Buddha was a little bigger. Big Buddha fruit, but it's more than just shockwaves. The fruit of the Big Buddha allows Sengoku to get the power, wisdom, and spirit like the Buddha. Combining the huge body like the Big Buddha with clever mind and perfect skills, he can become the ultimate person with both mental and physical skills. In this state, Sengoku's mind and body can be played to the extreme as they please. Conquerors winding. Conquerors were wrapped around the Buddha in a substantial way, making the golden giant Buddha full of black and red lightning, and its aura suddenly increased. Obito's brows twitched. Watching Whitebeard, Rayleigh hidden in the distance and other top powerhouses, couldn't help but admire. Conquerors is Haki, who is the only one among millions of people who has the qualifications of being a king above others. At the same time, many people think that Conquerors is very rubbish and at most clean up the minions. Like a green pepper, it is nothing that Conquerors is like a crucian carp in the new world. But in the eyes of powerful people such as Whitebeard and Kaido, 177 is green pepper weak and ignorant. Although there are a lot of people at Conquerors, there are too few people who can do Sengoku's level, too few. Conqueror's Entanglement, one of the top powers in the world. Rayleigh sighed with emotion. Conquerors has the same winding function as Armament Haki, and it is stronger than Armament Haki, but only a few people can be wound. Such as Rox and Roger in the past, and Whitebeard now. Such as Kaido, Conquerors wraps the mace and kills the 5th Emperor in one hit. Look at your confident look, come on, start your performance. With Hollow, Obito wasn't afraid at all, unless the opponent even shattered the space. With a 5-minute time limit, it is a monocular state, the Obito with both eyes gathered together, with the spiritual power system, the Hollow time is too long to be powerless. Buzzing. One by one Bergamot closed behind the Golden Buddha, with a majestic momentum. Awakening, Buddha's light shines, in an instant. The Sabodi archipelago, composed of 79 small islands, is all lit up, and the sky is full of radiant Buddha light. Ahole, you are too insidious. At this time, there was a burst of anger from Obito. Because Sengoku's attack was not directed at Obito at all, it was meaningless. Instead, they attacked the 3rd squadron where thousands of people were. Boom boom boom. I saw huge Buddha palms all over the sky, pressing toward the sacred troops. Before arriving, the ground below was cracked and full of cracks. Idiot Sasuke, if I die, remember to burn me a captain badge. Looking at the sky full of Buddha Hall, Naruto yelled. Idiot Naruto, you better die here. Sasuke disappeared instantly. Boom. Like the sky and the earth, Sengoku's terrifying blow directly destroyed Sabodi's area 40 to 49. And carrying a terrifying storm, swept across the entire Sabodi like crazy. The screen is full of scenes of destruction, countless audiences were stunned. Sengoku of Buddha. Kill the island. Chapter 18. The era is smiling, the Captain Conan kills 10 CP0 people in a second. Advertisement, boom. Terrible roar. Just under the anger of countless audiences. The live screen is black. It's good looking, will you bring this to me? Many viewers can also understand that Sengoku's blow was too terrifying, and the video phone worm may have been broken into pieces. Aboard the Moby DK. The same exclaimed. Marco also sighed with emotion. Daddy, that Sengoku hasn't seen you in a few years, and his strength hasn't weakened at all. He has followed Whitebeard for many years. I have seen Sengoku Admiral and Whitebeard fighting scenes many times, and he is absolutely the best in the world. Roger's old opponent is Garp, and Whitebeard's old opponent is Sengoku. Hey, it's Sengoku after all. Whitebeard's laugh was full of identification. The previous generation of marine powerhouses, Garp old naughty boy, Zephyr retired as instructor, and only Admiral Sengoku is often active at the forefront. It made countless pirates frightened. The new generation of 3 big monsters, Vice Admiral, is still a little tender. After all, the youngest Kuzan is only 30 years old. Those people from the Holy Empire should have died a lot. Marco said cautiously. In fact, he wanted to say that those people should all be dead. After all, it was Sengoku's awakening blow. There are very few who can stand up to it all over the world. Whitebeard drank a sip. The result hasn't come out, and it's not too early to draw a conclusion. The Holy Empire is not easy. Everyone suddenly heads forehead. It is naturally not easy to dare to declare war on the world government. Just when people all over the world are talking about it. The screen lights up again. Hiss, after looking over, countless people all over the world took a breath. Shocked, at a loss, astonished, various emotions are beyond words. As powerful as Whitebeard, they all say incomparable at the moment, as if they have seen something incomprehensible. On an island in North Blue, there was an unscrupulous, hysterical laugh. Boiling, 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 boiling. Those who make me want to kill them all at once, have you seen it? The times are smiling. Sabaody was in a mess. Especially the area 40 to 49, completely turned into debris and sank to the bottom of the sea. If it weren't for Sabaody's land being an archipelago of 79 islands, and all major areas had seawater buffers, then the entire Sabaody land would suffer a devastating blow. Sengoku made this blow. Refresh countless people's awareness of power. For a time, countless pirates shivered, but there are even more shocking things. The few surviving CP0s glared at Sengoku. You must give us an explanation. Died. In addition to their 5 CP0. The remaining CP members all died in the blow of Sengoku. CP0 also had serious injuries on his body. Shut up. Kong gave a cold cry. Allah, this is in trouble. Deidara's combo didn't hurt Aokiji, but was embarrassed by Sengoku's attack. And what makes Qingshang's head big is, Sengoku exclaimed, this is impossible. Rayleigh, who was hiding in the distance, was equally puzzled. Ahead, because of the collapse of several small islands on the sea. Captains such as Hinata and Shisui were intact. Gaara and other sage soldiers from the 3rd Brigade stood neatly on the surface of the sea and were equally unharmed. This is the scene. Countless people were stunned. Standing on the sea? Not dead? And none of them were injured? Sengoku's blow didn't mean to destroy the world, but countless people wanted to get rid of their scalp, but few people could resist it. But on the side of the Holy Empire, can everyone stop it? How can it be impossible? You are only allowed to attack, but they are not allowed to escape. Obito looked at Sengoku sharply. This guy is a sinister thief. If it weren't for the shadowy realm, at least half of the thousands of holy soldiers in the 3rd Brigade would have died. If something like that really happened, they're captains. No face to return to the Empire at all. Shisui said solemnly. I have to say that you are very strong. If you are not too greedy, you have succeeded. Unfortunately, there is no if. Hear what Shisui said. Sengoku's fist tightened. Indeed, as Shisui said, if Sengoku was not delusional to kill the 3rd team with one blow, it would surely kill a lot of people. The realm of shadows. Hiding in the shadow space instantly. Provided that. There must be a chance to react. The same soldiers of the 3rd Battalion, it is impossible for everyone's reaction speed to keep up with Sengoku's attack speed. If you fight head-on, few holy soldiers can escape Sengoku's attack. However, Sengoku's wide range of moves was too big, and all the saints were included in it. Similarly, the attack speed was slowed by a beat. Just that shot. Make all the holy soldiers react and avoid. There is still time for zooming and yelling. Damn it. What is the ability? In Sengoku's perception, although his ultimate move was a bit slower, it is impossible for every holy soldier to escape the attack range. Anyone who can't escape will have to die. Unfortunately, they all avoided. Some abilities, you don't have to die more than a few people, it's impossible to understand. Sengoku, be careful. Kong exclaimed. Because a space Uzumaki appeared behind Sengoku, a hand was stretched out, and the fingertips sent a beam of light. Boom. A small divine destruction, passed by Sengoku and blasted the ground. Suddenly discovered. You can't hit me, and I can't hit you. Obito stepped out of Uzumaki, frowning slightly. This is called a country, not only has a strong attack, but also has top reaction speed, movement and speed. It seems that it can only be stalemate. Otherwise, the team captains broke out Ryotsu, making him stagnate for an instant, finding an opportunity to attack again. Ryotsu by Obito alone. It is not enough to bring Sengoku to a standstill. Aokiji, change your opponent, Sengoku yelled and made plans. There is no point in killing the holy soldiers, so let Aokiji drag the annoying guy in front of him, and he will solve the other captains as quickly as possible. Don't look down on me. B***********. D. Seeing Qingshang actually ran over, Deidara was angry. Sacred Miya C4 Garuda. A huge arrow appeared in Deidara's hands, the entire arrow shaped like a doll. Turned into streamer and flew towards Qingshang. Your attack is messy. Aokiji caught sight and escaped, and he found that the arrow sent by the opponent was fundamentally different from that of other holy soldiers. Advertisement, strange shape and bells and whistles. Boom. Doll arrows explode. Ice wall. A grand ice wall appeared. Boom. The ice wall burst layer by layer, counteracting the explosion. Something is wrong, but at this moment, Kong, Sengoku, Aokiji, and those CPO stared at the same time. Seeing and hearing color perception. A dense cluster of tiny objects spread into the air with the explosion. The scope is huge, it feels extremely dangerous. Hold your breath. Kong and the others immediately held their breath. And covered the body with armed colors. Art is an explosion, drink. With Deidara's big drink, the air exploded, spread in the air. There are countless tiny bombs hidden in the dolls, which are hard to see with the naked eye. Boom 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 boom, continuous explosions sounded. The earth was shattered and dust was everywhere. Damn it, I'm so angry. After sensing the other party's spirit body, Deidara was annoyed. Because Sengoku and others were unharmed, obviously defended against the explosion with armed colors. Hey, don't mess around. Hidan was startled when Deidara wanted to explode the big trick he was studying. Forbidden technique developed by Deidara, CO Blast. It has not been released yet, but through description, Orochimaru of the Academy of Sciences evaluated it as a low-profile version of the spiritual nuclear weapon. Because Deidara blew himself up with spiritual power in Ryotsu. If the enemy's soul is not strong enough, it is enough to destroy the souls of all enemies in the range. Forbidden technique where the soul is all gone. Someone is here again. Everyone looked into the distance. I can perceive that there are 10 more people with Ryotsu not weaker than those 5 CPO, so they should be no weaker in strength. Swipe it. 10 people arrived at the battlefield extremely fast. There are 10 more CPO members. For a time, the Empire is a bit weaker. These 10 people, leave it to me. A cold voice came from a distance, and when Might Guy and others looked around, they were suddenly startled. Captain, under the gaze of Sengoku and others. A beautiful woman with long light blue and purple hair floated in the sky, holding a shield in her left hand and a sword in her right, just like a female knight. Captain of the Holy Army, Conan. Boom. The vast Ryotsu swept the audience. A sense of oppression from the soul shocked the expressions of Aokiji and others, and their bodies bowed slightly. Stopped for an instant. The world reconciles. When the opportunity came, Conan burst into holy writing. In an instant, disappeared in place. Purple lights and shadows crossed the battlefield. In a blink of an eye, all light and shadow converge into one point. Conan's figure reappeared. Puff chick chick. A scene that shocked countless viewers watching the live broadcast happened. The 10 new CP0 members. The body was like thin paper, split in half. The corpse fell to the ground. Hiss. Rayleigh, who was hiding in the distance, felt his scalp numb. Suddenly retreated hundreds of meters. This is a scene that Rayleigh can't understand at all, because the strength of those CPO is not weak. The body is not weak. Even if it was stagnant for a moment and didn't have time for armed defense, it shouldn't be hacked to death so easily. But their bodies, suddenly became as fragile as paper. The ability to make people brittle and weak, coupled with the speed just now, and the inexplicable momentum that makes the body stagnate. This woman is terrifying. Rayleigh directly gave Conan. Tag an offending label. Continue. Conan returned to his original position. As if a few ants had just been trampled to death, he spoke calmly. Yes, Captain. Deidara and others were very excited. They saw Conan shot for the first time. There were too many talents in the Empire. Conan hadn't shot for many years. Has been taught physically and mentally by Lan Yu. Senior Conan is getting stronger and stronger. At this time, Kakashi also fell from a distance, sighing with emotion. Call. Obito and others simply ignored Kakashi. The captain of Meimei is here. You are a vice captain who doesn't even show his face, so don't brush up on her presence. Shoot. Kong shouted loudly. He was about to do it. A loli stood directly in front of him. Are you ready to die? Hyuga Hinata's tone was cold, and his azure blue pupils were shining with light that was difficult for ordinary people to look directly at. Ha 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 ha, your tone reminds me of that lonely guy. Kong looked sharp and let out a cold laugh. It's just a pity. You don't deserve to be compared with him. Kong meteor shower. Marine Marshal Kong shot angrily. Armed color blessed his fist like Heiyao Jingang, and instantly blasted out like a phantom. In an instant, hundreds of punches. Each fist is so powerful that it directly shatters the atmosphere, carrying a terrible power and directly attacking Hinata. Large divine destruction. Holy text. Start. At this moment, Hinata is not using Tensigen. Condensed a large-scale divine destruction directly in the sky. At the same time the holy text was activated. Buzz. Everything changes quickly. What happened? Sengoku caught a glimpse of his loss in an instant. All Kong's attacks disappeared, and his body returned to its original position. It seems that he hasn't moved at all. What happened? Kong was even more at a loss. This is the opportunity. But the moment Hinata was activated at the holy text, at the moment Kong was in a trance, a large-scale sacred destruction landed. Die. A huge arrow fell from the sky. Falling directly on the ground, it instantly turned into a huge lightsaber, and its power erupted. Boom 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 boom. Journal Chapter 19. Hinata's power of time shook the world. Marshal Kong, death. Advertisement. Boom. Large-scale sacred destruction is extremely destructive. The huge lightsaber that turned into after landing, like a laser cannon, instantly cut open the number 32 area of Sabaody land. Boom. Area 33 is torn. Boom. It stretched to Area 39 and rushed to the sea between the major areas of Sabaody. The entire soap bubble park is torn apart. The audience was surprised. They felt that they looked at Kong, and Sengoku and others were worried. And Hinata's blow, it shocked the eyes of countless spectators. This is what they have seen. The world's strongest little loli. Mom wasn't so strong when she was young, right? Cracker from Cake Island, staring at the live screen. Definitely not. Katakuri looked solemn. Not only depends on the destructive power, but also on who the opponent is, the little girl's opponent, but Marshal Marine. One of the top powerhouses in the world. Even if the others were destructive, they probably didn't have the chance to zoom in and were killed by Marshal Marine. And at the moment, the strongest loli has the upper hand. Because Marshal Marine, it's not that easy to die. Humph. There was a muffled hum from the dust, and a sturdy figure came out. But at the moment, Kong looked miserable. The left hand was completely broken, the clothes on the upper body were shattered, there were dense hideous wounds all over the body, and the blood was constantly entering and disappearing. Even so, Kong still looked like an iron tower, his face unchanged, his eyes cold. Martial! Sengoku and Xingqiang exclaimed. They had never seen a martial with such a miserable appearance. He broke one of his hands. This scene shocked countless viewers. It was martial marine. Astonishment flashed in Hyuga Hinata's eyes. The pain of the broken hand, the pain of the soul, and the wounds of the whole body still remain unchanged. Speaking of which, Hinata's voice was raised a little bit higher, awe-inspiring. Among the opponents I have fought, in terms of will, no one can compare with you. My Hinata district calls you the strongest. Countless people were in a trance. They never seen Hockey's little loli like this, for a time. Shu 177 Tien has gained countless fans. Obito and others' eyes twitched. Uncle Madara's pompous words were completely broken by everyone. Maybe Uncle Madara is jumping angrily now. Hashirama can't help it. Your existence is too threatening. Kong spoke very seriously, treating this loli as an enemy of life and death. At the same time, Kong was extremely jealous in his heart. Because he didn't even want to understand how he was injured, he obviously attacked, but all disappeared. Soul wound, that's it, can an attack hurt the soul? Also from Hinata's words, Kong understood why he was so painful. A little skin trauma, plus a severed hand, but Kong felt that he had been chopped hundreds of knives, which was extremely painful, but he managed to endure it. Tensigan gravity strangulation. When Kong was empty of thoughts, Hinata decisively shot again. Gravitationalized chains. Invisibly, it turned into a big net, and instantly fell on Kong's body, and began to pull vigorously in all directions. Trying to tear Kong's body to pieces, armed out. At this moment, the dark armed color burst out from Kong like a torrent. Boom! The eruption of the Shanhu tsunami directly destroyed the chains of gravity and formed a terrifying armed tsunami that hit the past. What a terrifying armed color, Shisui and others were shocked. They knew Conqueror's Haki, but they never thought that the armed color could be used as a tsunami. This scene, it's like a heavy mountain range pressing down. Reverse gravity Shen Luo Tianzheng. Hinata raised his hand and exploded with strong repulsion. The all-round bombardment hit the armed torrent and the two sides suddenly stalemate. Bone-cracked steel empty, martial marine charge. The armed torrent was swept away directly, and the right fist hit a Bungtian blow. Break it to me. With Kong's roar. Under Hinata's startled gaze, her Shenluo Tianzheng was strongly shattered. On Kong's fist, Jin sent out a shockwave like the sky and the earth. Submerge Hinata in an instant. Boom. The earth-shaking roar resounded throughout Sabaodi's land, and dozens of areas in front were shattered and penetrated completely. Kong meteor shower. After a punch, Kong rushed into the ruins without stagnation. Facing everything ahead, furious combos were launched. Every hit, all fell to the earth like a meteorite. Be sure to crush all the creatures in it. Boom 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 boom. The roar of terror was endless. The small islands in several areas were completely shattered, and the sea in front was blasted out of the abyss one by one, which was extremely frightening. Martial. The explosion of Kong made Sengoku both happy and worried. After all, I broke a hand, what should I do after the battle is over? Happy to see you. Obito has come to pester Sengoku again, and can't let the map gun of Sengoku run around. Sengoku frowned. Looking at you, don't worry about that girl at all? Worried about her? As if he heard the funniest joke, Obito laughed. Stop kidding, if Hinata were defeated so easily, we wouldn't. Cough cough cough. Never mind. The black history of being beaten up by Hinata loli is a tear. Boom. Suddenly, it roared again. A figure flew out from the dust, turned into a streamer and smashed over. Bang bang bang. It crashed and destroyed dozens of buildings all the way, only to a little stagnation and fell into ruins. How can it be? Xingqiang has forgotten how many times he exclaimed today what he read correctly. It was martial, multiple divine destruction and destruction. A petite figure flew out of the dust, and when his left hand was raised, dozens of lasers rushed towards Kong. Medium divine lost. At the same time, the right hand condensed a huge arrow, which also rushed past. Not good. Sengoku and Aokiji wanted to block them, but they were stopped by Might Guy and others. Large scale, wholly lost. A spirit blade appeared, drawing an arc in the air, and a huge bow and arrow appeared above the trajectory. Much more tyrannical than the attack just now. Boom boom boom. All kinds of sacred destruction completely submerged the Kong empty space, and the roar continued. Hiss. A strong counterattack. Countless people were stunned. Especially the little loli who appeared again, even more powerful. Advertisement Hinata floated directly in the air. Spiritual power flames were burning on his body, and the whole person was emitting blue light, and his aura increased sharply. Tensigan spiritual power mode, open, strength, speed, psychic power, Ryatsu. All surged, are unharmed again. Seeing Hinata, whose hair was not messy, Sengoku lost his voice completely. Boom. The ruins exploded, and a figure broke through the air, blasting a punch halfway. Another shock wave of terror. It's useless. No matter how many times you attack, it's useless. Under the stunned eyes of countless people, that loli spoke coldly. Then, raised his hand slightly, the shock wave suddenly dissipated. Kong retracted his fist, returned to the place, and returned to the ruins with a trance. That's it again, my attack and hockey disappeared again. No, what kind of ability is this? Kong Kong had never encountered such a weird, AHFH, thing before, constantly searching for possible devil fruit abilities in his mind. Cannot correspond to all of them, and he can only defend passively. Even the armed color will disappear as soon as it appears. Caused now all over the body. Time. A CPO suddenly exclaimed, and his face was full of horror. Her ability is time, she has traced the time on you, and all your state is back to before you did it. Your hockey, your physical skills, will go back to before the activation, you can only become a target. All the injuries on her body must have taken time to look back. She is invincible alone. Wow, one word set off thousands of waves. At this moment, I don't know how many strong people who watched the live broadcast stood up in shock. The eyes are full of incredible. The Moby DK also exclaimed again and again. Even hockey can be returned? Isn't it impossible to defend it all? Marco's eyes widened. No, isn't time the power of Tianyueshi? Is she dead? Day and moon time. Paramisha time fruit ability. For some reason, from 800 years ago, through time and space, came to Wano Kuni. No, with Odin, she can't die easily. Whitebeard directly denied Marco's idea, staring at the screen and said, moreover, the abilities of this little girl are different from those of Tianyue. It may also be that Tianyue did not develop it, after all, that woman is too weak, silly and sweet. But what Whitebeard does not know is that Kazuki Odin was shot a year ago and his family was destroyed. Time ability. Teach on the boat was young, with extremely greedy eyes in his eyes. I really want it, damn dark fruit. Why doesn't it show up yet? At the same time, Kong Kong Mingwu. Finally I knew why I was always interrupted and attacked, and the opponent found a chance to counterattack. If not, he is Kong Kong, so he can't even beat a little girl. Go back to other people's time, even your own physical condition? The ability should be more than that, how can I fight this? Qingshong was in a trance. I thought Logia, after eating, he stood on the shoulders of giants. But the ability displayed by this little girl proves that the rule system is the top level. Will hockey go backwards when I use it? That elementalization must be too. Can't defend. Unable to attack, who is not afraid? That's it. Hinata looked at the other party whose body was hurt and the soul was broken, and she spoke coldly. Hinata's sacred text. The Arc of Time. Within the range of Ryatsu's perception, he flicked the Arc of Time to rewrite the timeline of himself and everything. This is what Lan Yu calls, almost unsolvable rule ability. It's more than just looking back in time, every skill is a bug. Justice will never fail. Kong Kong suddenly raised his head, his body was washed away with the rhythm of life. Every hair, every muscle, including the internal organs, all came back to life with consciousness. Life is back. Armed eruption. Kong Kong's aura soared, and he wanted to crush the so-called time with absolute power. Because he always believed. Any ability, all have upper limits. Then let him break the limit. Boom. Stepping on the ground, Kong Kong arrived in front of Hinata like a teleport, erupting the strongest blow. Kong heavenly break. At this moment, Hinata felt that it was dark, and everything in front of him was shattering. Kong Kong's burst of attack speed instantly surpassed Hinata's reaction speed. The terrifying punch directly drowned her. Boom. With the roar of destroying everything, the entire battlefield fell silent. Everyone looked over. The phone number of the video in White Zetsu's hands is closely following the hotspot. Hue. Kong gasped. Sengoku was 60 years old, and he was more than 10 years older than the opponent. Especially become a target. When his armed color is used, it will go back. The body and soul are in shattered condition. This is already his ultimate blow. Next moment, countless rays of light condensed in the air. The light washed away the mighty power of time, and began to form a petite figure. What? Seeing lowly reappearing, Kong Kong's smile didn't know whether it was self-deprecating or free and easy, and shouted. Admiral, Sengoku, listen to the order, Marshal, I am here. Sengoku tensed his body, his eyes were red, and he could see that the Marshal was exhausted. The position of Marshal is handed over to you, you must take care of Marine. I have been busy all my life for Marine, no regrets, no regrets. Justice will never lose, Kong Kong roared, charged up again. Marshal Marine's final punch, for you, a luxurious funeral. In an instant, 9 blue spiritual power balls were spinning at high speed in Hinata's hands. Spiritual power has exploded, golden wheel reincarnation explodes. Hinata sent a golden lightsaber that penetrated the sky and the earth, purging the terrifying aura that would destroy the soul. The Arc of Time flicked. Backtrack all defenses of Kong Kong. Boom. The sky is falling apart. The lightsaber cut away Kong Kong's ruined body and blasted towards the Holy Land Marijoy. Boom. Marshal Marine. Kong Kong, die, Chapter 20. Uzumaki Kushina, robbed Naval Headquarters today. Advertisement, boom. Kong Kong died. It didn't stop the reincarnation of the Golden Wheel, but instead rushed to the holy place Marijoy even more vigorously. Sabaody Archipelago. Why is the Celestial Dragon's back garden? Because, Naval Headquarters Marineford is the closest island to Sabaody. At the back of Sabaody, there's the Red Line, and Marichoya is on it. From the edge of Marijoy, overlooking Naval Headquarters in Sabaody, for Celestial Dragons, that is the back garden. The Red Line is high, but it is far from the sky. What a long lightsaber. That direction is, Guru, no. She turned out to be terrible. As Bai Si took the videophone worm and followed the hotspot, he followed Hinata's actions. Live screen. The lens suddenly zoomed out. I could see a golden lightsaber that seemed to extend infinitely and penetrated the sky and the earth, and it passed across the entire Sabodi in a flash. Cut through the sky. I rushed directly to the red line. That area is the highest power center in the world. Seeing this scene, countless people were stunned and couldn't believe their eyes. That Hinata, who had just won the title of the strongest loli in the world, went straight to a place that countless people could not even think of. At the same time, I don't know how many people are looking forward to it. Do, split it. If you can split it, I think you can be a grandma. Goo la la la, this little girl is too hockey, she won't be my daughter, just let her be your aunt. Lack ha ha ha, be my right arm, the strongest in the world loli. Well, it's a pity that she is not a man. If she doesn't die this time, I will invite her to my tea party. Ooh, why didn't Lousy wake up early on such a big thing? You all go to die. Countless people look forward to it, the world's attention. That bright golden light seemed to be a dawn that broke the dark clouds covering the world for 800 years. Countless people's hearts were raised, and countless careerists were staring at them with eyes wide open. That golden light. Only 800 meters away from the red line, you can reach it in no time. Also at this moment, presumptuous, a loud shout sounded from the red line. Mixed with the amazing conquerors spreading far away, people in Sabodi and even Marineford couldn't help their eardrums neighing. Tear it. A chopping wave instantly tore the atmosphere apart, like a crescent moon rising from Marijoy, more than 1 kilometer long. Also like Shinigami's sickle, the slash was full of blood and dyed the sky red. Boom. The huge blow collided with golden light as fast as lightning, directly causing a huge roar like a meteorite impact. The sky exploded like a nuclear explosion. Layer after layer of energy tides and shockwaves continued to sway in the sky, blasting the sky out of the huge hole Uzumaki. Wow. The storm cover pressed down. Sweeping several islands below, Marineford and Sabodi were instantly messed up. Buzz. Laughter all over the world, stopped abruptly. The expressions of countless careerists were frozen on their faces, showing a solemn color. The top swordsman, perhaps not the strongest blow. Shanks, who had not yet gathered their partners, began to challenge the swordsman Mihawk and other swordsmen in the first half of the Grand Line. Even across the screen, all felt the oppression of the top swordsman. There is a great swordsman who splits hundreds of kilometers into the sea like the Golden Lion, and there is a great swordsman who compresses the slash and easily crushes everything. The latter type of attack is stronger. As for the slash just now, God knows how many times it was compressed in an instant. Hinata's golden wheel reincarnation exploded. Was it shattered? Obito and others couldn't help but stare. We must know that the attack range of the golden wheel reincarnation explosion is the second, and the strongest is the cutting force. It stands to reason, although the slash was strong, it should be cut open. All can be destroyed. My teacher and I are far behind. Hinata quickly returned to calm. Not bothered by this, she still has a lot of room for improvement. Ah, far away, you can feel your arrogance and ignorance. White Zetsu looked up at Marijoy. The person who slashed the blow didn't come out, as if he didn't bother to come out. Still aloof. This made White Zetsu smile. It's so simple, you don't deserve to let me disturb the holidays of the top empires. People who will be there. Just kill it all, for an instant. The screen turns again. Sengoku, Aokiji, and CP0 all became dignified. Before the support arrives, they will be in danger. 3 minutes, take them down. Kakashi fell from a high place, his hands bursting with spiritual power, and he pressed directly to the ground. Summoning Saint Soldier's Judgment. A huge aperture with runes emerged from the ground, giving Sengoku a bad feeling. Interrupt him. Sengoku just got ready to do it. Kamui. The space in front of him formed Uzumaki and swallowed it towards him. Sengoku was shocked and had to retire. The others were also stopped. Hiss. When the aperture was exhausted, countless inspiratory sounds sounded again all over the world. White battlesuit. Uniformly. At a glance, another army of 5,000 people stood there with solemn expressions. Washed with iron and blood. All the sacred troops that came to this world have arrived. What kind of ability is this? Sengoku's heart sinks. Hinata can understand even if he opens the space channel to show people. But this one aperture shakes so many people? Summon? Let's start. Conan stood on a high place and spoke flatly. Yes, Captain. With the addition of the 3rd Brigade, a total of 6,000 people from the 6th Brigade shouted together. Wow. 6,000 people scattered like a white tide, enclosing all the islands in this area, including Sengoku and others. Go away. Aokiji and others realized that they wanted to rush out of the encirclement, but no matter where they went, there were all captains in the way. It is difficult to get rid of interference in a short time. Spirit Sealing World Method. Get up. 6,000 holy soldiers burst out. Advertisement beams of light rose up into the sky, and closed in midair, instantly condensing into a huge enchantment with countless edges and corners. There was a light golden spiritual flame burning on it, which made people feel extremely palpitating. Okay, just run as you like. Shisui and other group captains withdrew one after another, returning to the edge of the barrier. Ah, why should I run? What's the use of summoning a group of miscellaneous soldiers? Just kill them. A CP0 sneered, but he was extremely vigilant and kicked a Tempest Kick tentatively. Boom! The Tempest Kick chopping wave blasted directly on the barrier. The enchantment does not move, but it was burned out by the flames of spiritual power. Just do you want to break the barrier of 6,000 holy soldiers? Are you trying to laugh at me? Deidara burst out laughing. Ryotsu. Feel it, what despair is. Shoot. Boom. 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 When Deidara's words fell, Might Guy and other captains broke out with Ryotsu at the same time. Not only that, Ryotsu of the 6,000 Saint soldiers is also erupting. Boom 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 boom. Ryotsu converged into a tsunami, rushing into the area within the barrier, and everything it passed by collapsed. A sense of breath, heaviness, and lethality. The surrounding Ryotsu tsunami made CPO and even Sengoku and Aokiji shudder, and a sense of fear reflected in their hearts. Puff and puff. The soul was as high as the sky, causing Qingshang and others, who had never felt it before, to kneel on the ground. I can't move my whole body, oh. A CPO broke out all the armed colors, trying to counter the terror's pressure from the soul. But came the intense pain of the separation of body and soul. Even none of them died. Hidan said differently, Ryotsu of so many people joined together. At least one should be shaken to death. Ryotsu is all soul materialized attacks. So what, it's just the last struggle. Although surprised, Kimimaro will not give the enemy a chance to raise his hand to gather spiritual power. 0. Te. Medium divine lost, with the huge arrow projected out. The remaining captains and 6,000 holy soldiers broke out in divine destruction. Like a laser cannon falling all over the sky, it was extremely dense, and countless arrows blasted past. Boom 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 boom. This scene, it's unbearable to look straight. The soul is hard to move, so how does the body act? The people in the enchantment became targets, damn it. Akainu of Naval Headquarters was full of suffocation and was about to rush out and was directly stopped by Zephyr. Calm down. Zephyr shouted, with a low expression, the Naval Headquarters needs someone to guard. Kaido, Golden Lion, and even the rest of the Holy Empire may invade at this time. Akainu kept his head down. Try not to look at the screen, otherwise he will get angry. Who? At this moment, Garp gave a cry of surprise. Boom. Garp blasted the wall directly and rushed out, shocking the generals. Zephyr frowned slightly, thinking that Garp was playing tricks again, and wanted to take the opportunity to run to Sabaody to help. It can be seen that after smelling and perceiving it out. Sure enough, someone is coming. Zephyr's expression sank, and he also rushed out, and the generals followed suit. Boom. When they came to the square, Garp seemed to collide with someone. Then they saw a large piece of marine lying on the ground without knowing it, and in the middle, stood a beautiful woman with long red hair in a white military uniform. 0. Me. Uzumaki Kushina. Kushina retracted her hand, stepped on a stone, with one hand akimbo, and the other pointing at the crowd. Robbery. The generals appreciated it. What nonsense is this beauty talking about? Come to Naval Headquarters to rob? Looking at the badge on the opponent, Garp frowned and said, Are you from the Holy Empire? He just came out. Oncoming a small divine destruction, it was smashed by Garp remotely. Correct. Kushina tapped the badge and shook her hair. By the way, Holy Empire Air Force Admiral Uzumaki Kushina, this is Miss Ben. All the empires in the live broadcast you watched are my little brothers and sisters. Kushina said, with the thumb of her left hand pointing to herself. Hockey was extraordinary. I covered it, understand? The Marines were shocked. Those Obito, Hinata, etc., and even the Captain Conan, are all in the hands of this woman? Whatever you just as Akainu spoke and was about to take an angry shot, a voice of grief came from a distance. Everyone, sir, it's not good. Sengoku Admiral Aokiji Vice Admiral they. A messenger didn't say it for a long time. It will surprise Garp and others directly, it won't be. Turn the picture over. While guarding against Kushina, Zephyr turned his head and shouted, his voice faint, Yan. You are not in a hurry, and I am not in a hurry. Kushina chuckled slightly, sat directly on the rock, and played with her mobile phone on her own. Alas, this world is really, there is no network signal. You can only watch the downloaded movie. The picture was quickly transferred. But it shocked everyone at Marine. Run, I ran out. A CPO burst out of armed color, and his special fruit ability rushed out of the barrier. The heart is full of fear, but this scene makes countless people feel cold. Because the skeleton of the CP0 body is visible, the outer flesh is completely burned, and the eyeballs are missing. You are dead. Conan looked at the CPO calmly and spoke coldly. Seal the spirit enchantment, even if the body escapes. The soul will also be imprisoned in the enchantment. The current CP0 is just a remnant of the body's consciousness. Puff. The moment when CP0 fell, the lens frame is rotated. The remaining corpses of CP0 appeared. Sengoku, Chapter 21. The Arrogance of Five Elders, Holy Land Marijoy, Destruction. Advertisement, War. Naval Headquarters. Garp cried out. In that magnificent enchantment, the bodies of several CPO became civs, and there was no whole body. The 6 captains, 6,000 holy soldiers, the various sacred destructions they constantly released in the sky caused those CP0s to die in despair and fear. Although their armed colors are strong, it may be able to block 100, 1,000, or even 10,000 waves, but a random wave is tens of thousands of arrows of spiritual power. Several waves passed, tens of thousands of divine destruction and destruction strikes. Not to mention, among them are the large-scale sacred destruction of Kakashi and Hinata, and the powerful attacks of the other captains. Alive. Wanjian pierced and died, the soul was shattered. Puff cough cough. Only Sengoku kept coughing up blood. The huge golden Buddha was so dilapidated that even Aokiji, whom he tried to protect, was completely dying in his arms. Its amazing vitality and will. Kakashi was surprised that the two were not dead. They could see that although Sengoku had turned into a golden Buddha, his body was already riddled with defects. The soul is in a cracked state. The same is true for Aokiji. It seems that there is no obvious injury on the body, after all, it can be elementalized. But the soul was also hit hard. Normally, the two should be dead. But that tyrannical vitality and amazing will made them survive till now. It was the golden Buddha that counteracted a lot of attacks, his strength is really strong. Despite this emotion, Obito and others will not stop. Another wave of sacred destruction will be the last straw to crush the camel. Swish swish, 180 once again sent 1,000 arrows. It seems that time has stagnated, countless viewers held their breath. Sengoku, go all the way. Whitebeard closed his eyes slowly. Not many people of his generation who are recognized by him as the strong are still alive. In a few years, worldwide, there will be no ship that can carry him. Look, Daddy, what is that? Suddenly, Marco exclaimed and Whitebeard opened his eyes suspiciously. When Whitebeard looked around, surprised and solemn flashed in his eyes. Buzzing. Inside the enchantment, suddenly an invisible barrier appeared, blocking all arrows. Space barrier. Obito's pupils, who are extremely sensitive to space, shrank, and Mangekyo's pupils began to gain strength. Kamui. Space Uzumaki. Hit the space barrier. This is a Space Force collision that belongs to the pirate world and has been rare for hundreds of years. Boom. Under the collision, the void was instantly full of cracks. The dense black cracks exudes a terrifying aura of destruction, and they continue to spread in all directions, making Kaido, who just woke up to watch the live broadcast, arouse. Instantly wake up. Kaido now. Kazuki Oden was shot and killed last year, and his strength has not yet reached its peak. But even if it wins, Fung Kaido, unless he has his brain twitched, he will never use his body to fight the space rift, because it is unbearable. Whitebeard. What shattered is the atmosphere and space. There is a big difference between tangible and intangible. Humph. There was a cold snort from afar. A stronger spatial force moved forward and directly smoothed out Obito's Kamui. And formed a new space Uzumaki, attempt to swallow the dying Sengoku and Aokiji. Sword pressure. Konan shot instantly. Withdrawing the sword and slashing, the target is directed at the two Sengoku. Woo! Another space Uzumaki appeared. A terrible slash flew out from it, directly meeting Konan's sword pressure. Boom! Along with the roar, a grand storm set off and the sky was full of dust. Buzz! The two spaces Uzumaki disappeared, everything. It happened in an instant, countless people have never recovered. Sengoku and Aokiji, were they rescued or killed? When the dust is gone. The two Sengoku disappeared. For a while, the audience was silent. Countless people all over the world have lost their voices. Goo la 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 la, Sengoku, this old guy, is really fateful. Whitebeard took a sip of wine. The laughter was full of complicated, and I didn't know whether it was happy or angry, so Marco and others looked at each other. The two are very strong, at last it's not so boring. Konan calmly retracted the Lingza saber. He didn't care about the life and death of the two Sengoku at all, and his tone was also inaudible. This sentence was washed away. Countless people who watched the live broadcast were stunned. Shouldn't they roar in anger? Even more shocking things happened. Ha 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 ha. The holy soldiers laughed one after another, one by one happily. The little loli of hockey actually smiled sweetly at this moment. The captain is right. Fighting the world is like a game. If you pass the level without obstacles all the way, you will lose the fun and have no sense of accomplishment. Hearing this, Obito's expression shifted and said, I didn't expect that Hinata also plays games. It's so cold on weekdays, isn't it just like an Imperial Elementary School student in private? Hinata smiled. Deidara sighed and said, how to say it, Hinata's technical level, how can it be better than the Imperial Elementary School? Silk. Hinata raised her brow. Hidan couldn't help laughing. Is it right at home humming a song with my feet clasped, and yelling and smashing the phone without hitting it? I dare not think about that picture. Loli's face went dark. Draw out a spiritual blade. Face the wind. Ah, Captain help. Countless audiences were dumbfounded. Is their reaction wrong? You guys give an angry mood anyway. Everyone in the Empire. You are what your Majesty said, the Emperor is not in a hurry, the eunuch is in a hurry. For the Empire powerhouse, it doesn't matter whether Sengoku 2 die or not. What's important is that there are more powerful men in this world waiting for them. The blood continues to burn, but, something, cannot do. Konan's voice changed. Dare to snatch someone in front of me, and pay the price for your ignorance. Brush. Konan disappeared instantly. She was pretty sure that the two who had just shot came from above. White Zetsu switched to Namikaze Minato mode, took the phone worm, and immediately followed. Minato. White Zetsu, you uncle? God knows how many people's strengths White Zetsu has simulated, his own abilities have changed. Can even store simulations. White Zetsu, Although I am not good at fighting, please don't find me to fight, you will feel desperate. Brush. Brush. Conan paved the way for spiritual power. Rush to the Holy Land Marijoy. Live screen. Follow closely. Advertisement, the woman of the Holy Empire is really better than a hockey. Doflamingo on an island in North Blue couldn't help but wipe a cold sweat, but his eyes were full of excitement. That's it, he is not afraid of the Empire being strong. I am afraid that the Empire is not strong enough. This is just the sacred troops, although I don't know how many people are in the Saint Army, Dover understands it well. An empire. There must be more than one unit. Suddenly, Doflamingo had an idea that he had never had before. Although he was expelled from the Holy Land, but Dover is still arrogant in his heart. Although he fears Kaido in the future, he has never surrendered. I, Dover, will never be a slave, but now, it's boiling over, let me see your strength. Doflamingo still decided to settle down, don't say how much Conan did. Even if Conan walks out of the Holy Land alive, Dover will regard the Empire as hope. It's just abandoning dignity, how can it be compared? Endless hatred in my heart, Holy Land, Marijoy. That woman flew over, I really don't know how to live or die. It's just a group of people with special abilities, who dare to provoke us. It seems that people outside have forgotten what is 800 years of world government. It's time to clean it up. The room of power, inside Pangu City. 5 arrogant and disdainful voices sounded, 5 elders. As the highest position of celestial dragons, they sit in Pangu City, the center of highest power, all year round, so that they can encounter everything smoothly. There have been too many in the past. A careerist who does not know what to do in an attempt to attack the Holy Land. But they have been buried in history, descendants of the Creator? Do not, in their eyes, they themselves are gods who overlook everything and despise mortals. And the one among the flowers is the king of God. God splits angrily. God is angry. Devil fruit illustrations are all written by the world government. 800 years of heritage. The mortals outside are trying to plant gods? Sad and ridiculous. 5 elders, the blonde in a crimson suit, said in an unhappy tone. 15 people died there. CP0 is really a bunch of rubbish, and so is Marine. That. Wearing a white robe and wearing glasses, 5 elders wiped a knife with a bald head and spoke plainly. Hand it over to the God Guards. Guards. It is the strongest guard between Pangu City and Wa. Each one is carefully cultivated or selected in the CP0 elite, and even the top powers conquered all over the world. Compared to Celestial Dragon's shield CP0, the guards are the strongest line of defense that can never be broken by a single person or single force. There is an upper limit to the strength of a person. Except for the one among the flowers, no one can sweep everything alone. Surround yourself, you must die, above, it's 5 elders' perception. At this moment too, Conan arrives above the Holy Land. The live broadcast also showed the demeanor of the Holy Land, which is a sense of luxury that ordinary people want to break their heads and never dream of. Luxurious everywhere, is this Celestial Dragons? Conan looked down, without sorrow or joy. I can see the Celestial Dragons one by one, and they are extremely weak. Maybe there are elites. But that is very few. The holy place is obviously magnificent, but at this moment, because of Celestial Dragons, it makes people feel gloomy and liver. Not as good as a garbage dump, this world is really sick. Conan slowly raised the Lingza saber, those light orange beautiful eyes. Instantly black and red, multiple pupils appeared. All-knowing and all-powerful opening. Hiss, White Zetsu suddenly felt cold inside. He was shocked back and forth several hundred meters back and forth, still in shock. At this moment, Conan made White Zetsu feel the horror that he would be killed in a spike at any time. Swipe. Conan's attack is simple, draw a few swords lightly. Ching Leng turned and closed his sword, 1 step left the Holy Land. Those who just rushed to the guard were dumbfounded. Those who watched the live broadcast were also dumbfounded. Just swipe the sword a few times and left, what about fighting? What about the big move? Ha 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 ha. Inside Pangu City, 5 elders laughed proudly, full of sneers. That's it. 5 elders with a long beard coldly said. In the next few seconds I saw it, it was still calm. What does this mean? There was no attack at all. She was scared away, the remaining 5 elders' forehead is preparing to taunt, but the next moment, rumbling. The roar of terror burst out. 5 elders also burst its eardrums, and only felt that the sky was dark, and the world's 5.7 circles were being destroyed. All resistance. It's all useless. Hiss. Now. The world loses its voice. After White Zetsu retreated, they saw the live broadcast, which was an aerial shot from a distance, and the holy place showed the whole picture. But that picture. Destroy the world. Boom. The entire holy place shattered like glass. One after another, the abyss and gully are covered with Marijoy, presenting a world-destroying scene. Boom. The roar of terror continued to resound. The most shocking scene happened. The piece of red line where the Holy Land is located is as fragmented as tofu. With the entire Holy Land, collapsed and fell into the sea together. Wow, countless fragments. Waves were set off on the surface of the sea. A lot of huge sea kings were also drawn out, swallowing with open fangs. I don't know how many celestial dragons were torn apart. The blood stained the sea. Ahem, some people are really dead, but sometimes life is more painful than death. Continue to feel despair. White Zetsu sensed the ocean and grinned. The live broadcast is closed. Disappear. Boom. Kaido is an exciting spirit. A punch smashed the videophone worm. His expression was full of surprise. He took a big sip of wine and murmured in a daze. What a real illusion. Scare lousy. The boys are speechless. That's true, boss. Times have changed. My lord. Chapter 22. The Carnival of the Whole World. Hidden in the end of the 800 years. Advertisement. The live broadcast disappeared, all around the world. There was silence. The silence is very special. Everyone's faces are filled with trance and shock. It has been a long time since they recovered. Holy Land Marijoy, crash and fall into the sea. This kind of thing that is difficult to appear in dreams is clearly displayed in front of countless people. Do not watch the live broadcast. Who dare to believe it? Intel. I don't know who it was. He laughed. Did you see that scene just now? Not to mention complete extinction. Celestial dragons died at least 70% to 80%. Ha 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 ha. Consumption tonight. Buggy will pay the bill. Soon, Buggy recovered with a distressed expression. Puff cough cough. When I didn't say it, my last sentence was bragging. Buggy God tier. As the owner of the world's strongest lucky color hockey, his laugh has infected countless people and spread to the world. After a moment of silence, carnival all over the world. Boiling, 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 boiling. Doflamingo laughed and trembled all over, tears splashing, and couldn't stop. Seeing him like this, many little brothers are very worried that Dover will laugh here to death. Diamante said inexplicably, let Dover smile. I have never seen him so happy. Torpal smiled similarly. What are you doing in a daze? The young master laughed, and laughed at Lousy. Hee. Aboard the Moby DK. It took a long time for Whitebeard to come back to his senses. Gum la 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 la. Bring the wine. Today you daddy. I want to drink everyone alone. Drink. Lousy is the strongest. For a while, even Marco and others challenged them one after another, bringing in barrels of wine on the spot. Cake Island. Charlotte Linlin has only one sentence. 3 minutes. My old lady wants all the information about that woman in the Holy Empire. Kata Curry and other children have headaches. 3 minutes. What a joke. She seems to realize that she has said something wrong. Today's aunt is in a particularly good mood. Well, it's my mother's fault. 3 days are good, if it can't be done. 07. Mom will be angry. Break. Everyone is terrified. Angry mother. But even her own children will kill her. Kaido doesn't bother to talk nonsense with his younger brother. A person turned into a dragon and flew towards Sabaodi's land. No one knows. What is Kaido going to do? Although that scene is worth everyone's excitement, but we are still very weak. Seeing the excitement and selflessness of the Revolutionary Army cadres, Dorag quickly recovered his calm and said something that made everyone sober. That blow seemed terrifying. In fact, it's just that the cutting force is strong, just like you cut a piece of stone, only where it is cut will there be traces. The cadres quickly recalled. Yes, although the Holy Land was chopped into countless pieces, it fell into the sea. But only the place where it was hacked was the most damaged, and the remaining blank areas were not damaged. After all, the Holy Land is not small, it is split after all. Instead of pushing horizontally, the weak celestial dragons may have died a lot. But those elites, maybe not much. Give them time and they will recover soon. Dorag said again. However, the Holy Empire has severely hit the prestige of celestial dragons and the world government. Go hard, everyone, and there is one place. The atmosphere is extremely weird. On an island. Red hair pirates. Shanks has matured a lot compared to 3 years ago. At this moment, he walked to the side of the boat alone, his eyes fascinated. Some crew members were curious. What's wrong with the captain? Shouldn't there be a banquet at this time? Yasop wiped his gun and said calmly, perhaps something is on my mind. Beckman from North Blue, with a clear thinking brain and extremely high combat effectiveness, became the deputy captain. Walking calmly to Shanks' side, Beckman puffed out a smoke ring and said, what are you thinking? The world is going to be completely messed up, Shanks said after a moment of silence. Beckman said meaningfully, this era is already messy. What does this have to do with our pirates? They're pirates. The pursuit of freedom is enough. Beckman continued. What's more, we are all small people now. No matter how chaotic the world is, we can't do anything. One sentence awakens the dreamer. Shanks erased his thoughts and turned around and laughed. Come on, it's a banquet. After the banquet, redouble your efforts to become stronger. Let's get started. Watching Shanks' emotions change, Beckman frowned slightly, then stretched out, and finally murmured. Celestial dragons, the source of chaos. Holy Empire, where does it come from? Carnival all over the world. Naval headquarters is full of silence. Their little brothers are okay, the boss, and even the boss's boss has something wrong. The collapse of the Holy Land. Marineford was affected by the waves. They watched with their own eyes, and the wreckage fell into the sea. Looking at various sea kings, rushed out of the sea and swallowed indiscriminately. Oh, Kushina put away the phone, screamed, and smiled. Why is Sister Conan making such a cruel move? Celestial dragons is so pitiful, my heart, it hurts. Please put away your smile. The expressions of the Marines sank. Although they wanted to laugh in their hearts, but something happened to their superiors, their subordinates lost their direction completely. Marine is inseparable from world government, because the millions of Marines in each sea area of the Grand Line need to eat and all need money. Relying solely on the power of Marine, not enough to make those participating countries pay. Without funding, Marine will be messed up. Even Akainu didn't mind arguing with Kushina and didn't feel in the mood to fight. Seeing this, Kushina curled her lips and said, I really feel sad for you, Marine. Garp and others were taken aback. This sentence, White Zetsu also said. Kushina got up, pulled out her hair and said, since you don't want to do it, then I don't bother to do it. Anyway, my goal has been achieved. The Holy Land is temporarily destroyed. If you also destroy it, the world will lose its balance. The generals looked condensed. He suddenly said, what is your purpose? The goal has been achieved? I always feel something is wrong. Kushina chuckled, didn't I tell you, come to robbery. Have you ever robbed one person up to 10,000 people? Never seen it. Too arrogant. When the generals hadn't recovered, Crane exclaimed, no, storage room and treasure house. Boom. A shock came from the storage room and treasure house in the distance. Boom 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 boom. A figure smashed from a distance, hitting a lot of Marine, and landed in front of Garp and the others. This Marine was wearing a khaki-colored suit with a very abstract face. He coughed a bit of blood and quickly said, ahem, 2 women, 2 very strong women, cough cough. Here here. Everyone knows that Kushina's 2 companions came here to rob together. Kushina is gone. Advertisement. Yeah, Sister Makoto, I'm here. There was a pleasant voice from a distance, and Kushina responded, and then shouted, where is Tsunade? I'm here, keep up. Okay, I am here. Seeing the Marines who had recovered their urge to do it, Kushina's smile suddenly wrinkled, and she said, since you choose to do it, you must be prepared to pay the price. After the Eucharist, open. When everyone talked about it, a 5-pointed star appeared on the top of the opponent's head, and the back stretched out with separated white wings at the tip of the wing. The wingtail condenses heart-palpitating energy. No, get away. Feeling the fatal crisis, Garp shouted, blasted a shockwave of punches, and instantly retreated towards the distance. Bachichan-guyu. The sky full of light bullets spilled from the sky, even more dazzling than Kizaru's ultimate. Boom. Marineford Square was devastated. Kushina's magic bullet. One thing is the deadliest. Can't defend. Whoever resists will die. Remember my name, Kushina, Queen of Critical Strike. In a dust storm, Kushina waved her sleeves and flew away. Boom. A punch blasted away the dust. Seeing the mess everywhere, Garp felt big for a while, and Akainu and others were even more angry. Damn it. And in the sky, with long black hair fluttering in the wind, Uchiha Makoto, wearing a white military uniform, was still gentle and beautiful, and his eyes looked at the sea in the distance in amazement. That is, space ability. Swing there. Ripples in space. Strangled the Sea Kings, swept away the remains of the Holy Land and the people who fell into the sea. Tsunade raised his brow slightly. At that aperture, I feel the vitality. No, it can't be said to be vitality, but it can recover from the injury. Even the injury to the soul. There is also an emerald green aperture. Shrouded everyone who fell into the sea. Brush. Kushina flew over and said after hearing it. I just saw it. When the Holy Land fell into the sea, there was a strange energy protecting many people. The energy intensity is very strong. Makoto's jaw. There is also a strong sense of crisis. That kind of crisis. Concealed. Just like a black panther in the dark, ready to attack at any time. A short moment. The 3 women perceive multiple different and extremely strong energies, which proves that the 800-year history is not empty talk. If it weren't Conan, open the omniscience and almighty increase in strength. And cut off all the interference of power in the future, and even affected the foreseeable future of the top-level seeing and hearing, it will not be so easy to give the Holy Land a devastating blow. The task is complete, let's go, with the 3 daughters leaving. The Holy Empire. A tall and thin figure flashed across the void, whispering. It disappeared in a flash. At the same time, Marineford had another anomaly. 2 figures fell from the sky, it's like being thrown by someone. What? Looking up, Garp was stunned for an instant, and immediately rushed to catch the 2 of them, and quickly said, Sengoku, Kuzan, are you all right? The generals looked over. It's also great joy after grief. Because the 2 seem to have no physical injuries, and their breath is very even, as if they were too tired to fall asleep. Be quiet, they need to rest. Looking at the 2 people in a coma, Ching drank, his eyes full of shock. Even the 2 who were dying were rescued back. 800 years of background. It's just a pity. Marshal 180 is still dead, also means a new generation of rights transfer. At this moment, Akainu frowned and said, what about Paluzalino? The generals were silent. Swallowed by space. He who can't break the space, maybe he won't be able to come back. Afternoon. Sky Island. The sacred troops return. Kaido also missed the big group. This chain is really terrible. Inside a large prison, there was a 3-meter lanky man in a yellow suit sitting with a sad face. He wanted to escape, but he couldn't. His whole body was bound by spiritual chains, which locked his soul and made his body difficult to move. Feel the pain when you move. This little brother, can you loosen the tie for me? It's very uncomfortable. Ah, no, Enel was wearing the costume of the little saint soldier, but his expression was more proud than the total of the top 10 captains. That be D with red eyes, let the original god look into prison, it's a waste of the original god's talents. During the words, Enelmi looked at Kizaru. Lightning is power. Have you been bombarded by thousands of thunder? Huang Yuan was stunned. What a mess of gods. Don't think I won't be able to hear it if you change a word. Million volts, discharge. The intensive current rushed into the prison, and watching the long-eared monster turn the lightning, Kizaru was slightly different. It turned out to be thunderfruit. You. Why are you okay? Seeing no response from Kizaru, Enel gave a groan. This thin guy. Can he withstand his thunder and lightning? What? Kizaru stunned. Then his expression was extremely exaggerated, and he yelled. Oh so cool, scared, so painful, who will help me? Enel's face. In an instant, there was a burst of black, a burst of white, and a burst of purple. This damn it be asterisk 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 d. I dare to tease my god, I need to. Holy soldier, what do you do? Enel, who was angry, heard the sound from the corridor, and a Ji-Ling stood up straight and returned to the place, saluting and shouting. Report to Captain, I want to check the spiritual power chain, I am afraid it will loosen. Call. Kizaru despised, wasn't it arrogant just now? So attentive. Good performance. Obito glanced at Enel strangely, then gave a little compliment, and looked at Kizaru with a heavy expression. Come with me. How'd I go? I will lead you away. Kizaru is bitter. Monkey Landing Sky Island is being bullied. Chapter 23. Excuse me, is it too late for Kizaru to join the Empire? Advertisement. Obito pulled the chain. Kizaru followed behind, and Enel followed closely. Go more and more biased. Kizaru was a little panicked, his five senses were tangled together, and he hesitated. Will you take me to the execution ground? Public execution? Seeing this, Enel disdainfully said, Look at your courage, I despise you. Kizaru ignored it. The dignified kid in this god. Mad, right? Obito didn't speak, and quickly came to an empty place. A huge space door in front. Yes, with entering the space door. Kizaru's expression was wonderful, and Enel looked around with his eyes wide open. This is a colorful Madara space channel, but one by one luminous spheres can be seen in the distance. When Enel looked intently, his eyes suddenly hurt. Captain, what is that? Don't look around. Regarding the countless spheres of light, Obito couldn't help feeling. Each sphere of light represents a world, even a universe, no matter how far away, I can't understand it. But those worlds, the Empire cannot pass through at present, they are all just projections. World? Universe? Enel suddenly. In the past few days, he has supplemented a lot of common sense of the Empire, and he also knows that the infinite land he yearns for is just a barren moon. I went with the fourth team the day before yesterday. But compared to the prosperous Qinghai, apart from some underground relics and a bunch of small robots, there are some broken buildings on the moon. In this regard, Enel was a little disappointed. Hearing Obito's words, Kizaru frowned slightly, and said uncertainly, Those are all different spaces? So small? Yahahaha. Hearing Kizaru's words, Enel laughed unabashedly. Tell me, don't you even know what the universe is? The world you are in, remember, it is the whole world, it is an asteroid and the sun is a star. Just one large galaxy has hundreds of billions of stars and planets are measured in trillions. In the universe, let alone hundreds of billions of large galaxies, understand? This be asterisk 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 d. Don't move, it's hundreds of billions, scaring the old man to death. Kizaru got stuck for a long time, suddenly saw the changing situation ahead, and saw a huge world passing by. A glimpse of it. There seemed to be countless people on it, mountains and rivers everywhere, and many continents. There is the heaven. The world that the Empire won 2 years ago is far larger than Qinghai in terms of scope. Obito said casually, seeing a door in front of him, and stepped in. Keep up, the Emperor is here. Buzz. The dimensional jade space channel disappeared. When Kizaru stabilized his body, he was stunned as soon as he raised his head in a daze. Is this the Imperial capital? It's too prosperous, so many people. Enel, who came here for the first time, couldn't help driving around. A decade ago, the Imperial capital has been modernized. With the integration of TNG technology, the Imperial capital is now covered with high-rise buildings, one by one Sky Island floats, and one aircraft passes by. For Kizaru, it's so dreamy here, there are things he can't understand at present, full of freshness. Who is that woman? Suddenly seeing a very tall and beautiful blonde woman in a uniform falling from the aircraft, with many people behind him, Kizaru said slightly differently. This woman is flawless, full of wisdom and sacred breath, and full of aura. It's like a dream, not like a human being. Obito glanced, and said casually, It's the Secretary General, Goddess Athena. Goddess? Huang Yuan looked at Obito weirdly. Unexpectedly, you also chase stars. The word for goddess. Although there is no one in Qinghai, Kizaru understands this. Many well-known female singers have many enthusiastic fans. She is not human. Obito glanced at Huang Yuan, and said lazily, You don't need to eat, drink, and sleep, you can live for hundreds of millions of years, you are born with a powerful force, a near-perfect existence. Kizaru was stunned. Isn't it a god? It turns out, you still know that men are called male gods, and women are called goddesses, understand? Obito said, waving his hand slightly, and a flight could fall, leading them in. Until he got on the flight deck, Kizaru was in a trance. Is there a god in the Empire? Looking at the bustling Imperial capital outside the cabin, Kizaru was silent for a long time, talented, and said, Our world is the next asteroid to be taken down, right? He thought. The Holy Empire is in a different space like Kagaya, but I didn't expect it to be another world. Do not. Occupied at least 2 worlds. Kizaru's worldview collapsed and rebuilt. World government, can't stop it, you finally understand. In Obito's words, the flight stopped for an unknown number of miles. Moon. The Imperial Academy of Sciences is located. As soon as he came down, Obito saw a man with glasses waiting in front of him. He opened his hands and walked with a smile. Ha 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 ha, little Kabuto, has been missing for several years, come, let Obito give a hug. Titicaca. Obito hugged Yakushi Kabuto and slapped him on the back, his eyes were scarlet. Cough cough. It's okay, I will die if I continue to fight. Pushing Obito directly away, Yakushi Kabuto was a little speechless. Isn't it just taking you to the Academy of Sciences to check your body a few years ago? You really hold a grudge. That's an inspection. Obito stared at Yakushi with scarlet eyes. He couldn't forget how he was dissected and reinstalled. Isn't it just to get rid of the data left by him? It's too ruthless. Advertisement ignoring Obito's complaint, Yakushi Kabuto looked at Kizaru and Enel, his eyes dimmed, and smiled. Anyone with Logia. Welcome to the Imperial Academy of Sciences, you will have a wonderful and unforgettable memory. Obito's eyelids twitched. Please put away the scalpel in your hand, don't scare the newcomer. Greatly, Captain. Feeling inexplicably stunned, Enel took a few steps back. I want to go back to see the prison. Please also let me go back to jail. Kizaru was so familiar with Yakushi Kabuto's eyes, it was the eyes of the mad scientist when he saw the subject. Can't wait to slice him immediately. Excuse me, is it too late to join the Empire now? No, the long-eared monster that discharges is an Imperial man, so he was brought in anyway. Kizaru feels life is bleak. But Kizaru still wanted to struggle and immediately said, I am strong enough to be an Empire. When you come out, talk about it, don't worry, it will be done soon, I promise you will not have any trouble. Obito comforted a little, and walked the two of them into the gate of the Academy of Sciences. Obito firmly believes, after coming out of the Academy of Sciences, Kizaru will cry and beg to join the Empire. It's so easy. Recognize reality, monkey, Imperial capital. Hall of Executive Council. Respectfully welcome, Your Majesty's exit. The top 10 captains and civil servants and generals all spoke respectfully. Lan Yu sits on the throne and nods slightly. It was another 3 years of retreat, setting up a time barrier, feeling the most precious dimension jade, and absorbing the energy of the heavens. Finally, the strength has been improved by another star. The current Juxing strength. According to the conventional destructive understanding, it is to clean the surface with one blow, and then it is a starburst. Be regarded as coming to the starting line. Report it. Lan Yu glanced at the hall. Remove Kushina, Mikoto, and Tsunade. Zu Madara and Kagaya were absent. They took the Imperial Army, land, and air forces and admiral to attack a newly discovered planet of life. It is a planet in the universe where ninja is located, not a new world. Yes, Your Majesty. Secretary General Athena looked solemn and opened a document and said, New World is a world where pirates are rampant, temporarily designated as Qinghai Realm. At present, the Empire has taken the Sky Island, where the Qinghai Realm is located, and has given prestige blows to the strongest forces in this realm. The Holy Soldier. After listening to Athena, Lan Yu glanced at Nan and Hinata. One killed celestial dragons and martial marine. The other directly destroyed the Holy Land. God knows how many fans are gained. In the end, Secretary General Athena said, At present, the elites of the 3 armies of the Empire are basically not in the Empire and are not suitable for large-scale invasion. Please instruct Your Majesty. Not urgent. Lan Yu enjoys the process of conquering. The territory of the Empire cannot be rushed to piece together, the heavens are conquered too quickly. As a result, there are many problems now. Your Majesty, this is a map of Qinghai Realm. Nara Luju projected a holographic map, which is a complete map of the Sea World. At a glance, it is full of the sea. Red line divides the Qinghai Realm in 2 halves, encircling the whole world in the middle. East blue, south blue on one side is west blue, north blue. Between the east-south blue, there is a calm belt separated, and between the 2 calm belts is the first half of the Grand Line. Between the west-north blue, the calm belt is also separated, and in the middle is the second half of the Grand Line, which is the so-called New World. See the map. Uzumaki Kushina said in a puzzled way. I really don't understand those big pirates, New World is so small, what is there to grab in those sites? Indeed, as Kushina said. New World, even the entire Grand Line, compared to the whole world, is too small. Those pirates, even if they completely occupy the Grand Line, the site is not as big as an East Blue. Because of conquering the Grand Line, it is considered the king of pirates. The land of the 4 seas is not considered by the pirates. Lan Yu said, realizing the map projection, and a sword appeared in his hand. Hey, under everyone's attention. The sword was inserted in the North Blue area. Take this sea area. This was thrown by Lan Yu casually. If Lan Yu really throws into the New World range, then he will attack New World. Choose whatever you want. North Blue, isn't this too sloppy? Yes, Your Majesty. The rest is handed over to the Imperial Civil and Military. Lan Yu looked at Robin. From today, you will be promoted to Secretary. Kaguya's teaching was very successful, Robin also worked hard, Lan Yu saw it all. But for the post of Secretary General, Athena is indeed the most suitable and versatile. Your Majesty, I will do my job well. Little Robin couldn't help smiling. Everyone is also looking at him, 11 years old from assistant to secretary, talented person. Hinata was also very happy to see her good friend being promoted, and secretly gave Robin a thumbs up. Chapter 24. 5 elders have only 4 people left, and the Imperial forces descend on North Blue. Advertisement 3 days passed. The world's carnival ends in summer. Because the newspapers of the world government spread all over the world. The general meaning is as follows. Devils claiming to be from the Holy Empire came from outside the sky. The Demon King led an army to destroy the world. The world government fought with it for a month, and finally drove away the Demon King and repelled the Demon Empire. The Devil Empire will eventually come back. People of the world, in order to fight the Demon Empire, the world government will fight the Demon King at all costs, even if it perishes. Please go forward and retreat together with us. The shamelessness of world government. The 3 views of all people watching the live broadcast have been refreshed. It's a mess. Full story. Marijoy and Marine's losses are not mentioned. Even erased the fact that the marshal died. I only mentioned old age and retirement. Although there are many islands in the world that have conditions to receive live broadcast signals, compared to the whole world, the scope of influence is not large. The world government knows this very well. Immediately publish a newspaper to confuse the audience. The intention is to bring back the lost prestige. But careerists all over the world, although mocking them, began to converge. Can publish the newspaper so quickly, prove that Marijoy has recovered. Restore your uncle, if possible, 5 elders would love to say so. Marijoy collapsed as a fact, even if it is repaired with all efforts, it will take years to say nothing. It has to be on the red line, find a place to rebuild. No, it's a 4-star now, never thought about it. We, 5, and will be killed. The new Pangu city built in a hurry was much more monotonous than before, and the 4 old stars looked ugly. 5 elders, with white curly hair, fluffy white beard and a flat hat, died under the destruction of the Holy Land. Because of the curly hair, 5 elders, is the closest to the slash that smashed the city of Pangu. All defenses, all resistance, desperately invalid. Curly hair 5 elders died on the spot and his soul was shattered. This matter is fully blocked. In the future I see, there is clearly no attack. 4 old stars with a long beard, I don't know how many times I have said it these days. 180 he is still incomprehensible, how the Holy Land was broken into pieces. It's useless to say that, it's better to think about how to deal with the Holy Empire. In addition, at this point, the 4 old blonde star has a painful expression, his eyes are terrified, and his voice says. Master Yim. Very disappointed with us, the remaining 4 old stars are full of bitterness. If they were to sit on the throne, they would be disappointed, and even the base camp would not be well guarded. Not being executed is a great gift, but, before the Holy Empire is resolved, 5 elders will not be completed. The 4 bald stars stopped wiping their swords, and said in a deep voice, except for the celestial dragons who went out, 19 families, nearly 80% of the casualties. The rest are countless. The 4 old star with curly hair laughed at himself. From another perspective, I should thank the Holy Empire for cleaning up the garbage for us. In the future, each celestial dragons will be allocated more resources. You have a good attitude, although it is true, but they cannot accept it. The prestige of the world government and celestial dragons has dropped to its lowest point in 800 years. These 3 days, many franchisees have different minds. The newspaper is only slightly stable when it is released. The 4 old star with a long beard frowned and said, it's dead, we have no candidates for the position of chief commander in the army we have prepared, and there is Marine. Admiral also has one missing candidate, they thought. Let Sengoku take the position immediately, and then let the 3 big monsters vice admiral become the 3rd admiral, in order to inform the world and strengthen the authority of the world government. But Beluzolino was gone. The 4 old star with curly hair suggested, why not, the world conscripts? Select monsters to become admiral. No, the 4 bald stars denied. The Holy Empire is too weird, and we need to prevent them from inserting spies. Everyone's forehead. The 4 elder blonde star said, send a captain of the CPO over, and also guard against Marine. The remaining 4 old stars seconded, Marine, it's time to beat. Lest they forget who their superiors are. AHFH, at the same time. Imperial capital. Inside the main hall of the Ministry of Intelligence. How do you feel? White Zetsu leaned Erlang's legs and played the game leisurely. Now it's time for get off work, relax. Kizaru was silent. None of the Academy of Sciences is human. A group of demons. Do you know how I spent these 3 days? Kizaru wanted to yell so much, and finally held back. The guy opposite, but the Minister of Intelligence, the top empire. He just joined the empire and has no credit for any position, so he can't talk nonsense. After being examined for 3 days, Orochimaru dissected him and told him a lot about the empire in a good mood. The power of Kizaru Mingwu Empire. There is no future in mixing with the world government. I'm not afraid of death, I just want to see my glorious future. A strong like Kizaru is naturally not afraid of death. But after understanding the empire and what the heavens and worlds are, Kizaru only feels that the Qinghai world is too small. His future is still very long. Minister, what do you want me to do? Kizaru spoke politely, although you are strong. White Zetsu put down his phone, sorted out the files, and said, but Vice Admiral's position is too low. Go back and get an admiral for fun. Maybe someday you can become a marshal. Kizaru fell in love. What's the meaning? Send him to be an undercover agent. Can he still be a marshal like this? Kizaru's expression changed again and again, and he coughed softly. This is what Your Majesty meant. He hasn't met Lan Yu yet, but Kizaru's heartfelt admiration, after all, that is the true lord of the two realms, and everyone is his people. 5 elders' shoes are not suitable, of course not. White Zetsu examined Kizaru and chuckled lightly. This is just an idea of mine, don't you find it interesting? Advertisement, Vice Admiral rebels against the world government, who cares for you? But Admiral, and even the Marshal rebelled against the world government, that was a huge sensation. I think it's fun, but I don't think it is fun. Kizaru looked miserable. If found, the monkey will die. The Empire does not need to be undercover, and you should not treat yourself as an undercover. Whatever you did in the past, you will do it in the future. White Zetsu handed Kizaru a box. With the Empire as your backing, don't be afraid of anything. Eat the spirit orbs inside and go to turn the world upside down. Kizaru took the box in a daze. The Empire does not need to be undercover? Very Hoki's words, but Kizaru felt very hard. Why choose me? Jealous of my handsome? Do evil. Guru. The jar broke. Kizaru didn't even see what was in the box, took it out and ate it. Hiss. The tremendous pain caused Kizaru to frown. But White Zetsu was very satisfied with Kizaru's performance. Yes, that's it, your will, to be a small marshal in Qinghai, is more than enough. Kizaru has nothing to say. Marshal? He was suddenly a little excited. Quickly, Kizaru received new energy and various skills. So much ability. Kizaru was shocked. The current imperial cultivation system is no longer the Quincy, Shinigami, and Shu. After opening the Arcana Dimensional Jade, Lan Yu just updated the Empire system. He can't be limited to the set of Quincy. The names of some abilities have not been changed, but they have changed qualitatively. New system skills. It completely includes all the skills of Shinigami World, Ninja World, and Heaven World, and is currently being integrated into Qinghai World. Fusion, optimization, and strengthening. The Empire has been updated many times. Because everyone has different wills, the number of abilities received is also different. Those who are not received and are interested, need to learn by themselves. Having said that, White Zetsu is full of interest. What is your holy text called? Kizaru felt himself. After a while, Kizaru said 4 words with a weird expression. The Giant of Light, North Blue, Crane, Akainu, Kizaru, Beckman, Luo, Hawkins, Drake, Vista, King of Evil, Don Quixote family, Germa 66, Nolando, etc., are all from North Blue. From the perspective of the world, in the East Blue area, tens of millions of bounty are big pirates, and there are many pirates with over 100 million in the North Blue area. So East Blue is the weakest sea, North Blue is the strongest sea. And today, boom, a broken sound resounded over North Blue. Countless people in shock looked up. My father, what is that? A 5-year-old girl with pink hair opened her eyes wide and looked at the sky, her eyebrows curled. There are 4 2-year-old boys behind him. At a glance, the quadruplets. Yellow hair, green hair, red hair, blue hair, plus the little girl's pink hair. The 5 children are from the Vinsmoke family in North Blue, and they kill Matt. Not sure. The man with long blonde hair looked at the sky solemnly. At this moment, countless people at North Blue were shocked. Boom. The sky splits. A huge portal appeared. It makes countless people feel a great sense of oppression. Quack. Under the shock of countless people, a huge steel giant ship flew out of the portal. Hovering in the sky, it's like a hanging fortress. Immediately afterwards, a black object flew out of it, spreading towards North Blue. Empire flying aircraft carrier, fighter jet, Trans-Island. Dedoo, it's getting less and less like the world I know. What the hell is that? Doflamingo sees, hears and perceives color, and tries his best to look out. Those black flying objects are like a group of huge iron birds, densely packed with no less than 1,000. Diamante exclaimed. Dover, they flew towards us. 10 fighter jets. There were sonic booms in the sky. Flew very quickly towards the island where Don Quixote family is located. Be prepared to fight. Dover was talking when his eyes suddenly lit up because he could see the signs on it. It was a badge-like sign on the clothes of everyone in the Holy Empire. Stop it all. Immediately preventing everyone from taking action, Doflamingo was very emotional. Jungsho can't find you. Now he came to the door. Whoosh whoosh. 10 fighters hovered around Trans-Island for a while, and people in white suits jumped out of them. Hundreds of people fell on them. The 9th Squadron of the 3rd Squadron joined. Squadron Captain Gara shouted loudly. People on the island listen, this island, my Holy Empire wants it. Wow, Holy Empire? The people on the island were surprised. The captain of the 7th team, Bai, also shouted loudly. The one in charge of the island, come out, surrender and avoid death. Doo-doo-doo-doo. At this moment, there was a burst of laughter in the distance. A man wearing a pink feather coat and 9-pointed trousers and pointed-toed shoes walked along with a group of people who did not recognize him. Sasuke frowned. The laughter is terrible. Shikamaru's eyes. This is a pirate? Naruto smiled. He is so cool to walk. Doo-doo-doo-doo, welcome all friends from the Holy Empire, Don't fart, who is your friend? Dover's laughter stopped. Following the voice, he saw a young man with red eyes, looking at him proudly. This kid really owes you a beating. You wait for me. Chapter 25. Surrender to the Empire? Zooming's 5 vs Doflamingo? Advertisement: the two pillars are naturally fluttering. And Naruto often gets into trouble. Shikamaru is always implicated. The three of them are still lil sage soldiers. Compared with people of the same age, he lags a lot behind. Those in the same brigade, such as Neji, Choji, Ino, etc., are all team leaders. Ahem, Sasuke, don't talk first. He sprayed when he saw the second pillar opening and coughed lightly. Huh, let's spare your life first. Glancing at Doflamingo, Sasuke returned to his original position. Do. No matter how much he does, it's just a kid. Doflamingo ignored Sasuke, but looked at Bai and said politely. This little girl is so beautiful, I plan to. Ahem. For a moment, Naruto blushed. Gaara's eyelids twitched. Sasuke and others are speechless. Puff ha, sorry, Captain, I can't hold back anymore, I'm really sorry. Naruto couldn't help but apologized repeatedly while laughing with her belly. What is this kid laughing at? Dover couldn't help raising his eyebrows. Talking to a girl, no matter what, it's okay to praise it first, not to mention the girl in front is really beautiful. Is there a problem with his way of speaking? Stand at attention? The white face was stubborn. Naruto stood straight immediately, but Bai was the captain of their team. At this time, Bai looked at Dover and said calmly, first of all, correct your mistake, I am a man. Male. Dover stunned. The members of the Don Quixote family behind him also fell in love, and Diamante's jaw dropped in shock. Wilgo was also there. It took a few years to go undercover. There are no children in the family, because now Dover himself has not stabilized in North Blue. Dover brother Rosinante is here. Since Virgo is currently out, Rosinante has not inherited the name of second-generation Corazon. Holy Empire, Rosinante glanced back and immediately lowered his head. He was very panicked at the moment, because he discovered his brother's evil. Sengoku also sent Dover as an undercover agent because Dover was once celestial dragons to stop Dover's madness. But now, the real big horror is here. Dad, what should I do? Sorry, my fault. Doflamingo apologized very casually. The white policeman gave Rosinante a glance and continued. Secondly, I don't like to listen to outsiders' nonsense within 20 words. For a time, many family members glared over, leave me all. Dover turned his head and gave a cold voice. Today is the most important choice in his life, and he doesn't want his family to be killed or injured. The Holy Empire can't afford it. Do. Even so, Dover's laughter is still full of personality. 20 words? Enough. On behalf of the Don Quixote family, I surrender to the Holy Empire. Little Lord. Diamante and others just wanted to say something and then sighed. When Dover was 10 years old, showing the appearance of a king, Diamante and Torpal, Virgo and Pika took the oath of allegiance. Raised Dover together. No one knew Dover better than the four of them. The hatred in Dover's heart. Beyond everything. If he can get revenge, Dover is willing to give up everything. No matter how difficult the road ahead, they are willing to follow Dover. They are real family members. Squadron Captain Gaara hugged her arms and said, a wise choice, step back, let's take this island. The saints of the 9th Squadron were not surprised. Surrender is normal. Wait a moment. Doflamingo felt very abnormal, frowning and said, have you misunderstood what I mean? Gaara calmly said, surrender, you will live, if you don't agree, you will die. This is the Empire's policy towards external forces. What else can it mean? Doflamingo took a deep breath and spoke. My surrender is not to be an ordinary Imperial civilian. I want to join the Imperial government, become an elite of the Imperial, and serve for the Imperial. The audience fell silent. Gaara was also shocked. Bai calmly said, Imperial elite, why do you? Boom. At the moment when Bai's words fell, Doflamingo exploded with an extremely domineering aura. Under this momentum, the waves in the distance stopped. Puff. Someone fell in the distance, then formed a chain reaction. The crowd fell like pieces of wheat, and soon there were only Saint soldiers and Don Quixote family people around. Conqueror's hockey. Anyone didn't even faint, good soldier? Doflamingo said the reaction of the alien soldiers. In fact, everyone in Dover and Shanghai has fallen into a misunderstanding, thinking that the little sage soldier is about the same strength as the Marine elite private, but with special abilities. So from the beginning, everyone, including Dover, didn't care about these holy soldiers, only the Empire behind them. Except for recruit eggs. The weakest of the saints who can go with the army is stronger than Kid in the supernova period. Dover didn't even care about Gaara and others, after all, there are a lot of teenagers in this squadron. Children can't rely on habitual thinking, he wanted to pass by at all. See the top of the Empire. Put away your aura that can't even shake an ordinary person. After saluting Chaobai, Shikamaru said, I understand what you mean, I want to shock us those little people you think, and then let us notify the high-level people to come, you will show your ability and loyalty, and seek errands, right? This kid. Dover did not speak, but acquiesced. No matter how much he wants to join the Empire, he is the owner of Conquerors after all, so how can he be complacent with the low-level soldiers of the Empire? Is that so? Gaara nodded, understanding Dover's thoughts. They really can't bring any shortcuts to each other, at least the captain can make arrangements. Why waste time on them? But, Gaara looked up and said, if you win 5 of us, I will take you to see the captain. Advertisement, otherwise, go to the hospital to stay awake for a few days. Swipe. Zuoming and Shikamaru stood up, with the addition of white, 5 players will play. Do. Looking at the 5 children, Doflamingo smiled. He admitted that the abilities of the Imperial Saints are very special, and everyone in the live broadcast will shoot arrows and various elemental attacks. But not every child. Both are called Hyuga Hinata. Virgo, you guys step back and prepare for the next dinner, let me play with a few kids. At any rate, it was a soldier of the Empire. Doflamingo Lu showed his respect, and stepped back his pink feather jacket. By the way, the lower muscles and bones were moved. Dover walked at a pace that his 6 relatives did not recognize. Do. First say yes, if I accidentally maimed you, won't you trouble me? Naruto shrugged and said, what if you are maimed by us? Dover frowned. If he can't even fight a few Imperial soldiers, then his ambition for revenge is a joke. Do, seeing you so confident, I want to join the Empire more and more. Doflamingo laughed, and said something that stunned Pika and other younger brothers. I won, you call my eldest brother, lost, the other way around. Papa. Shikamaru couldn't help applauding, and admired. It's really good wisdom. I thought you looked down on the people at the bottom arrogantly. I didn't expect you to advance or retreat, and take the opportunity to build a relationship. But being a big brother, you are not qualified. Doflamingo came to Shikamaru and raised his hand. 5 color strings. 5 transparent thin silk threads appeared in his hands, and Doflamingo grabbed them. Boom. 5 narrow cuts were cut on the ground, but at the same time. The 5 Zuoming disappeared instantly. Dodge. Dover frowned again. In the live broadcast he forgot to watch, all the saints escaped a critical attack by Admiral Sengoku. Everyone's avoidance speed is very fast. 0, look for flowers. Sloppy. If they keep avoiding, he will not be able to win, and he will be defeated by his arrogance. Nobody. Dover's visions and colors perceive all directions. Zuo Ming's 5 breaths are not there at all. My heart sank again, and this hidden ability was not shown in the live broadcast. Are you looking for me? But I. Naruto appeared to the right of Doflamingo, and before he could finish speaking, Dover's crit was greeted. Bullet string. Doflamingo turned around and pointed out. A thread quickly penetrated Naruto's head like a bullet. A cloud of smoke dissipated. Doflamingo frowned again. Is it the same clone ability as the blonde man who threw explosive bombs at Aokiji in the live broadcast? Why so many people? Suddenly perceiving thousands of people appearing behind him, Doflamingo quickly turned around in surprise, suddenly startled. In the eyes, they are all human beings. Wilgo and others were also shocked. They watched with their own eyes the densely packed thousands of identical little ghosts, suddenly appearing on various buildings. So many clones, don't they consume physical strength? Spiritual power Rasengan. Under Dover's gaze, a blue energy ball appeared in the hands of thousands of Naruto, and they all rushed over. 2,000 Naruto hits. Do, your clone ability is really amazing to me. Doflamingo laughed and raised his hand. Spider's web wall. Hundreds of thousands of transparent silk threads flew out of the arm. It quickly formed a huge cobweb with a diameter of several hundred meters. Boom boom boom. 2,000 clones are like moths to the fire. One by one was shredded by thin threads, and thousands of spiritual power Rasengan exploded on the spider web. At the same time, Gaara appeared on the left and waved to burst. Multiple sacred extinction sand shigur. The arrows fell like wine in the yellow sand in the sky, and each grain was as fast as lightning, hitting Dover. Do, indeed, the most amazing thing is your elemental abilities. Dover was ready to avoid as soon as he said, his action was stagnant. Suddenly, he found that the ground had no idea when there was a layer of spiritual power, which instantly turned into sand, restraining his feet. Armed color. Chang, like sand and iron falling on the essence. There was a sonorous sound. Full body armed color? Suddenly, Gaara discovered that the other party was indeed talented. Because at the moment Dover is 22 years old and has already demonstrated Conqueror's Haki, but the fruit ability is a bit rotten, and it can be developed well. Lingbing is frozen and crystallized. Just as Dover was about to break away from the restraints on his feet, a white cold current swept over him, trying to freeze him. This kind of air conditioning, Doflamingo thought of Kuzan instantly. But the reaction was also very quick. He directly raised his arm with a wave, and then slammed it down. Dropping ruffian string. The 5 silk threads shot down like a rake like lightning, directly tearing apart a cold current. Can't move. At this moment, Dover's pupils shrank. As he attacked, he broke away from the sand restrained on his feet, but at this moment he felt another stronger restraint. I can't move my whole body. Dover, Diamante exclaimed. A long shadow appeared on the ground, connecting Dover's shadow. At the end of the shadow on the other side, it was Shikamaru. The same action as Doflamingo, spirit and shadow imitation. What is that? Wilgo looked to the sky in astonishment, and saw thunder and lightning running away, and the sky went dark. Super Jade Spirit Power Rasengan. A few more Naruto clones, dragging a huge energy ball in their hands, rushed towards Dover. Don't blame me for death. On the distant building, Sasuke raised his hand. His big move no longer needs weather assistance. Ling Lightning Style Kirin. It's a snap. The beasts all over the thunder roared angrily, rushed out of the sky, and blasted down like lightning. Boom. Chapter 26. Are they really Imperial soldiers? Shocking Don Quixote family? Advertisement, Dover. Little Lord. Seeing Doflamingo unable to move, he was directly overwhelmed by the huge energy group in the Grand Thunder Behemoth. The hearts of Pika and other subordinates were raised, the abilities of those little ghosts were too special. Although worried, but they can't rush past. Not to mention the rest of the holy soldiers who were eyeing them, if they even fought a few brats to help, Dover would be furious. The abilities of those little ghosts are too special, they seem to know everything. Wilgo frowned, and no one thought that Dover would lose out at first. Diamante said solemnly. Dover is not that weak, and their attacks are not that strong. Looks like a gorgeous move, but in terms of destructive power and attack intensity, they also breathed a sigh of relief, at least far from the world's strongest lowly Hyuga Hinata. Multiple, sacred destruction, before confirming that the opponent officially fell, Zuoming's 5 would not stand still. 5 directions of substations. Everyone fired dozens of lasers at their fingertips and continued to blast into the dusty ruins where Dover was. Boom boom boom. There was a roar. Beating in the hearts of all the members of the Don Quixote family made many people feel a little flustered. Something's wrong. Perceiving it, Shikamaru's eyes flickered in surprise, and he was startled. Why is the aura inside suddenly so much stronger? Sasuke snorted, so what, it's just the last struggle. 190. There's a. Naruto's words stopped suddenly when he reached his lips. Hurry up. Gaara and Bai shouted. An extremely strange energy burst out, and the 5 people and 1 Ji Ling quickly retreated. Wow. Almost at the moment when the 5 people retreated, the weird energy spread out instantly, and pieces of buildings and ground turned into white silk threads, spreading rapidly. This is. In the distance, Wilgo and others stared in astonishment, they had never seen Dover's power. It is too exaggerated. Everything in front turned into a white thread, like a white ocean, with countless silk threads dancing. It's paramecia, but Logia-like scenes appear. No, it's not right, this is the ability to affect the surrounding things, this is. Having said that, Diamante and Virgo looked at each other and laughed in excitement. Ability to use at a higher level, Devil Fruit awakens. Ha 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 ha, Dover is indeed a talented person, my young master has the appearance of the Supreme King. These words sound awkward. Naruto was confused and said, it just looks a little strange, why are they laughing? Sasuke made no secret of his disdain, and sneered. Want to distract us, it's ridiculous. Now. The 4 of Torpal, Pika, Diamante and Virgo laughed extremely complicatedly, with surprises, self-blame, and sadness. Is string fruit strong? To be honest, it's really average. In the hands of other people, it may only be used to knit sweaters and the like. But Dover has developed to the awakening, and Conqueror's Haki is present, confirming Dover's talent from the side. It's all my fault, it's my fault. Wilgo lowered his head and said in pain. No, blame me, I gave Dover the string fruit. As soon as Wilgo spoke, the Pika trio took the responsibility one after another. It was the 4 of them who gave string fruit to Dover when Dover was young, because at that time they couldn't find a better fruit and didn't know much about the power of devil fruit. And the young Dover desperately desires power, finally ate the string fruit. Dover spent too much time on string fruit to develop to such a point. If they wait for the family to become stronger, and then look for fruit abilities, they may be able to find a top-level paramecia, Eudemons, or Logia. Dover can easily become stronger faster, and may even reach the top level in the world. It won't be too high until now. It's boiling over, I've said it many times, I never blamed you, family members. The laughter spread along with the white line, and Doflamingo stepped on the white line and walked out of the ruins. Gaara looked a little surprised, it didn't hurt much. Sasuke stunned, and said proudly, it's just a strong hold, one time is not enough to do it again. It's boiling over, I really thank you for the pressure you brought me, I also admit that I underestimated you. Doflamingo's white shirt was broken a lot, and his body and hair were partially burnt, but there was no blood. The soul stings faintly, but it's fine. After fighting with a few imps and falling into the wind, when Dover was hit by a thunderstorm, his ability to get stuck at the limit reached a higher level. Commonly known, burst species, after all, he is now 22 years old, and he has been able to awaken the fruit, and it is enough to stun countless people. Doflamingo opened his hand and Haki leaped sideways. To thank you, I will save you all. Wild waves and white lines, under his control, the earth and buildings that turned into white silk threads instantly twisted towards the 5 Zuoming. Tens of thousands of transparent white thin lines are arranged horizontally, forming a wave of raging attacks like ocean waves. The scope is so much bigger I didn't feel much before, but looking at the tsunami like white line at this moment, Naruto thought that Dover's strength before and now are worlds apart. It seems to have been promoted several levels in a row. But this was not enough to make Zuoming's 5 fearful, and they quickly reacted. While Gaara's spiritual power exploded, and under Dover's surprise, the gravel ground in front of him turned into a desert one after another. He is also a power awakener. No, not demon fruit power. In such an astonishing scene, Dover greatly increased the attack intensity of Wanling White Line. Ling loosened waterfall. Large tracts of quicksand layer after layer, like waves of sea, overwhelmingly attacked towards the white line. Boom. When the 2 sides collided, there were 2 areas, one white and one yellow. The fine lines cut through the quicksand, and the quicksand continued to fill up. There was a stalemate for a while. Holy destroyed 1,000 bird sharp spear. Holy annihilation 1,000 killing Shuixiang. The arrow on the left turned into an extremely long thunder spear, and a large number of Chinban arrows on the right swept away all over the sky. Advertisement shield white line. Dover was about to pull the white line to form a huge shield, but he frowned again. Here we go again. The body couldn't move again. A shadow did not know when he connected his shadow. For shadows and the like, it is difficult for the current Dover to perceive it with sight, hearing and color. It was a shadow that seemed to link the soul, which made Dover difficult to adapt. He hadn't broken free before. Spirit Wind style spiral shuriken. At this moment, Naruto instantly rushed out from the shadow of the large white line, holding a high-speed rotating wind attribute spiritual powerball in his hand. Not good. Seeing Naruto suddenly appear in front of his eyes, feeling a greater sense of crisis on the spiritual powerball than the Thunderbeast unicorn just now, Dover's expression condensed. The armed color is all over the body. Boom! The Chidori spear shot back Doflamingo directly. Ding 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 ding. A large swath of arrows fell on Dover, and Naruto's shuriken also crashed. Chi-chi-chi-chi-chi-chi. Doflamingo passively defended, and his spiritual power shuriken continued to obliterate the armed color strangling him, and quickly came in and sent out bloody flowers. Get out of here! Doflamingo burst out. Conquerors appeared, and the spirit end will reach the apex, strongly breaking away from Shikamaru's shadow imitation of pulling the soul. Brush. Doflamingo retrograde room 0. A kick in the air. Armed custom line. 8 thin black lines flicked out of his toes, and when they merged together, it was like a fierce blow. Brush. Naruto disappeared. It's this damn evasion ability again. Doflamingo can only perceive that the other party disappears in the shadow, disappearing completely. Ever white. The lines on the ground surge. The turbulent waves tumbling like the center of the ocean were divided into 4 parts, and they smashed toward the Sasuke 4. Swipe it. The 4 Sasuke also disappeared. Doflamingo becomes angry. Dedudu, will you just hide? Boom. At this moment, the ground collapsed, and Dover suddenly dropped a few points. Lingsha Waterfall Great Burial. Gaara, who dived into the ground, turned the ground below Dover into quicksand, and countless quicksand passed through the layers of white lines. Ling Shadow Imitation. Age Shikamaru attacked again. Wow. Dover, who was stagnant, was directly covered by quicksand, and Dover was buried by layers of sand. Spirit Prison Sand Burial. The ground continued to collapse, and Gaara directly buried Dover 200 meters below the ground. Chance. The trio of Zuo Mingbai used Ling Wangtong to sneak into the ground. Next moment. Boom boom boom. Pieces of the sand sea burst, and thousands of arms-colored threads rose from the ground, penetrating the ground in an extremely dense density. The 3 people who just rushed to the ground bear the brunt of the crit. Puff chick chick. The 3 were blasted out of the ground. A dozen blood arrows each pierced through Zuo Mingbai's 3 people, and with a strong impact, they blasted them out. Naruto, Sasuke, White, Gaara and Shikamaru exclaimed. Quack quack. With thousands of white threads of armed color on the tip, as if it had grown eyes, it attacked the Gaara 2 again. Brush. The 2 fled away in a flash. Boom. A figure rushed out of the sea of sand from the bottom of the earth, and laughed with a burst of laughter. Do-do-do-do-do-o, I was still hurt by you guys. Injured the 3 Zuo Mingbai. It didn't bring any surprises to Dover, but felt extremely angry. Those are just a few children. Dover was angry with himself. After playing for a long time, even a few little ghosts didn't score 5.7, and he was so weak. Dover. Seeing the blood in the large cracks on Dover's body, Diamante and the others were extremely heartbroken. Do-do-do-do, only. What? Doflamingo is preparing to take down Gaara and Shiro, who appear again. But 3 green rays of light in the distance lit up, making his expression extremely solemn. Virgo exclaimed. How can it be? If so, how can they be just Imperial soldiers? Zuo Mingbai rushed out of the ruins, his body gleaming with green light. Under the shock of everyone, the blood hole pierced through their bodies was quickly repaired and recovered in a blink of an eye. The most incredible thing is, even the clothes that were torn apart on his body were restored to their original state, as if nothing had happened. Ninja Art. Meiotic Regeneration. Lingza Cluster. The former is Lan Yu's transformation and put it into the Imperial Spiritual Power System, which is extremely strong medical spirituality. If the spiritual power is sufficient, it can even be reborn with severed limbs. The latter is the most basic ability. You can make things with spirits, weapons, clothes, buildings, etc. Doflamingo was silent. The injury will recover, the avoidance speed will be fast, and various attacks will emerge in an endless stream. The people of the Empire cannot be killed. How do you fight this? Does it consume? Chapter 27. Dover, who joined the Empire, is mad. Why betray me? Advertisement. Can you recover from a serious injury? How should I fight this? The whole audience was silent. Recalling the various abilities of the 5 members of Zuoming, Don Quixote family was a little weak. Still deeply puzzled. 5 of them. Why are the Imperial soldiers? Shouldn't it be the elite class? Anyone can join the family as a cadre, many members think so. Seeing many members lost and decadent, Pika screamed. All cheer me up, Dover won't lose. Oh my god. This sound. The 5 people of Zuoming were stunned. This brawny man, who was nearly 5 meters tall, made such a sharp sound that was seriously inconsistent with his body. Not good. After Pika finished screaming, immediately he looked at the 5 Zuoming with an ugly expression. He knew that it would cause ridicule without thinking. Because his voice caused too many ridicules, he grew up taciturn and unsmiling. What makes Pika stunned? The 5 Zuoming only flashed expressions of consternation and then ignored them and did not point him. Don't they hear it? Impossible. The first time I saw someone who didn't laugh at him, Pika was a little uncomfortable and at a loss. How so? Rosinante, who has been secretly observing the 5 people of Zuoming, is a little hard to understand. Laughing at Pika's voice. It's a normal reaction. If you change to someone else, you will at least laugh at the first time you hear it. Wouldn't a certain creature called the protagonist in the future ridicule all over his face? It's not just Zuoming 5. The rest of the Saint soldiers just glanced at Pika in surprise, but didn't respond. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Interesting. What a holy empire. The look in Dover's sunglasses was a little complicated. Obviously overbearing, arrogant and somewhat arrogant, but any soldier in the empire is very cultivated. See the big and the small. The empire is very different from other kingdoms. At the very least, education is good. Saint soldiers. What are your expressions? That voice is obviously a physical defect of the other party. If you even laugh at this, you will be too lacking in quality and education. Why, judging from your appearance, it seems that you don't want to fight anymore. Watching Doflamingo take back all the white lines, Gaara is a little different. Sasuke snorted coldly. Anyway, he will lose in the end, he is smart. Do-do-do-do-do-o, as you say, I give up. Doflamingo spread out his hands, feeling mixed and complicated. He is a 22-year-old adult. The other party, 5 children aged 13 or 4. He didn't even use Fruit Awakening but didn't take it down. How did the proud Doflamingo accept it? With 5 people's evasion speed, endless methods, and terrible ability that can be recovered from serious injuries. Dover found that he had only one way to defeat the 5 without killing them. That is to fight consumption, exhausted their physical strength and defeated. Dedoodu, it would be ridiculous for me to win with 5 imps. I thought I was the next king. Unexpectedly, he was still a bronze. Dover was a little sad. Such him. What to take revenge on the celestial dragons. Even if he joined the empire, he might only be a civilian. After all, he didn't even win 5 minions. How do the top empires view themselves? Senior. I can't beat even a few children. The waste is not worthy to join the imperial government. Let's go farming. I thought of this possibility. Doflamingo is full of self-deprecating and dazed, full of confusion about the future. Could he only plant the land while watching the empire attack Marijoy? No, he wants to do it himself. With the family members holding their breath, Doflamingo lowered his arrogant head and narrowed his smile. I know that the empire is very powerful, and my strength is not enough to attract attention, but strength is not my main talent. I know a lot of celestial dragon's secrets, which can also bring benefits to the empire's economy, and even more. After racking his brains, Doflamingo said a lot, and finally was full of fear. Hope to give me a chance to meet the top of the empire. I am grateful. Little Lord. Virgo and others bowed their heads. If it is a high-level empire, it is nothing, the fist is the last word. But they didn't want to see their young master begging for a few imperial soldiers. The secret of celestial dragons? Bai glanced at Dover somewhat puzzledly, and then said indifferently. I'm pretty sure to tell you that the top empire is not interested in these. For an instant, Doflamingo sank to the bottom, but... 2 words for Gaara. Let Dover rekindle hope. He didn't ask for anything, he just wanted to let him follow and avenge himself when Marijoy was hit by the empire. But it is impossible to be an imperial civilian to follow the army. At least you have to join the imperial government and become a holy soldier, right? Yes. Dover realized it. Why should you be obsessed with being an elite of the empire? Being a holy soldier is also okay. Seeing the strength of Zuoming's 5 men, Dover no longer felt that it was a loss to be a saint. Your Majesty has an order. The 4 words of Gaara. Everyone held their breath. Doflamingo couldn't help but his heart beat. Why did it happen to your Majesty suddenly? The world government seems to be powerful, but some of the celestial dragon's background can be removed, and it is only composed of more than 170 franchise countries. It's an alliance, not a country, and the Holy Empire is indeed. Dover thought about it or not, knowing that Shikamaru's Majesty is the absolute master. Life and death in one word. It must also be a terrifying existence far surpassing all the empires he has ever seen. Gaara solemnly said, any owner of conquerors who surrenders to the Holy Empire will temporarily be inspected, screened, managed, and trained by the Holy Army. When your Majesty descends here, he will follow the captain to see His Majesty the Emperor of the Holy Empire. Wow. Turn around. Doflamingo feels like a roller coaster and wants to give Gaara a punch. Wouldn't it be okay to say it early? It turned out to have to fight. Dover believes that he can always stay even if he is checked and screened. Until the moment to see the Lord of the Empire. Zuo Ming and others felt bored. Advertisement. This should be the case when Dover surrendered to the Empire and broke out conquerors. But they just want to fight, so Gaara didn't say it at the time. Report your name. Are you sure to submit to the Empire? Looking at the solemn Gaara, Doflamingo also spoke very seriously. I, Don Quixote Doflamingo, surrendered to the Holy Empire and offered everything to the Don Quixote family. Having said this, Dover knelt down on one knee, his voice uncontrollable, full of hatred. If the Empire allowed me to participate in revenge when it attacked Marijoy, I would like to lay down my life for the Empire. Seeing the young master so solemn, Virgo and other subordinates knelt down one after another, swearing to surrender together. No matter how thorny the road ahead, they will accompany the young master to go down. Seeing the firm eyes of all family members, Dover was very moved. Family, I'm wrong you. I didn't expect this guy to have so many loyal subordinates. Sasuke understands why the Great Majesty has called for the owner of conquerors. Because every conqueror's owner, all have their own unique personality charm. In that case, you assist the Empire to take down this island and clean up all hidden dangers. Those who refuse to accept it will be killed without mercy. Hearing Gaara's words, Dover stood up and his jaw was as it should be. Squadron Captain Gaara waved and said, "The holy soldier listens to the order, cloths the barrier, take it here." "Yes, Captain." Hundreds of sage soldiers scattered. "See here." Dover also motioned to Wilgo and others to help. Do. Since joining the Empire, they are all their own. Dover couldn't be restrained with a few children either. When he walked to Gaara's side, Dover looked forward to smiling and said, "If it is convenient, can you tell me about the Empire? Also, what do you mean by screening?" "Don't say anything else, as far as North Blue is concerned. Who can be better than me, Dover? You will know about the Empire soon." Gaara put away the sand and spoke at will. "The Empire, people do not need civilians, but anyone who wants to join the Imperial government, whether it is military, political or academy, should first check the soul and save it in the archives of the Ministry of Intelligence. The screening is very simple. Conqueror's owners are like crossing the river. Not everyone is eligible to see your majesty and needs to be assessed. The screening is normal. Some conqueror's owners are rubbish." "But," Dover was puzzled. "Check the soul. What's the use?" Gaara said indifferently. "Will, mind, memory, identity, etc. can't escape the soul exploration technique." "What?" Virgo and others who were listening quietly were also affectionate. Rozinante was even more shocked. "Memory can also be checked." "I see." Doflamingo marveled at the Empire's methods. But it didn't feel wrong. This is the ability that every faction dreams of, and it can avoid a lot of chaos. Looking at the family members who helped, Gaara asked, "Are they going to join the Imperial government? If so, I regret to tell you that few people are eligible." Dover's forehead. "No regrets about this. He is him, and family is family. Anyway, they are all citizens of the Empire. Maybe it's natural to join," Dover said with a light smile. "Do. You can also let them try. Maybe there will be surprises." Gaara also smiled. "Yes, it would be a huge surprise if there is a traitor." Dover's expression sank. "It's all his own. Is it appropriate for you to say that? Those are all his family members. How can he doubt his family? His Majesty once said that the betrayal that is visible is not terror, and the betrayal that is terror is the invisible betrayal." Gaara shrugged indifferently. "Because you are your own people, I want to remind you that you were originally pirates. Even if you don't choose to join the Imperial government, everyone will check." "Let's talk about it." "Still doubt his family?" Doflamingo laughed angrily. "Do. Very good, don't you want to check? Let's start now." "If there is no surprise," you said, without waiting for Dover to finish, Gaara said seriously. "If I worry too much, then I apologize and take you to see the captain." 07. In this way, Dover didn't say much, waved for all family members to come over. Soon, all the staff assembled. Naruto, Shikamaru. Gaara also motioned to Shikamaru and Naruto to come over and glanced at Rozinante. His suspicion is not without reason. At the beginning, something was wrong with this guy. The ghost Chong has been bowing his head. Seeing Gaara's eyes, Doflamingo's face became darker. "Tell me not to doubt him. He is my brother, kiss." Naruto exclaimed inexplicably, "His eyes are weird." Shikamaru looked at Rozinante twice, and said directly, "Since it's your brother, it should be fine. Let's start with him." Just when Dover wanted to say something, suddenly seeing Rozinante's expression change, Dover was in a daze for a moment. "Am I wrong?" When Dover was in a trance, Shikamaru stepped forward. Rozinante took a step back. Under the unbelievable gazes of Dover and others, Rozinante smiled bitterly. "Sorry, Dover." Brush. The words have not fallen yet. Rozinante turned around and ran. See this scene. Dover was dull. "Why run?" Shikamaru faintly said, "Actually, the soul survey technique, that is the technique of the captain, we just did it." Boom. Conquerors erupted. Wilgo and others also looked ugly. Doflamingo's expression changed again, and finally smiled with anger. Boom, you are my brother. Lousy is so angry that I can't be angry anymore, I can only laugh. Why, betray me. Chapter 28, Kizaru. Take my place as admiral, I will kill you today. Advertisement, silence. Rozinante flees madly and silently. You can see the pale golden enchantment rising from the island, and the people chasing after him. Rozinante turned around and disappeared. The fruit of silence. It can silence all Rozinante's actions, even the explosion caused by the handheld rocket cannon will not make any sound, and it can eliminate all vibrations at will. Can't escape. The island has an enchantment, and there are chasing soldiers behind it. Coupled with his lack of strength, Rozinante gave up his intention to continue to escape after entering the room. Take out the phone worm. Naval Headquarters, Yuanshi Office. Sengoku put on the marshal's cape, and his hair was dyed black again, looking vigorous, but his eyes were full of fatigue. If it is possible, he really doesn't want to be in position now. This was in exchange for Marshal Sora's death. Aokiji and Akainu also put on admiral capes. Nowadays, it's the day when the three are promoted. Marineford has come to reporters from various newspapers. We are all waiting for the promotion ceremony of Marshal Admiral 2 hours later. But Akainu and Aokiji have ugly faces, because there was a white suit sitting on the opposite side, The 2 or 5 boys who pulled the Marine Admiral cape were full of arrogance. As the captain of the CPO, I should have guarded the great celestial dragons in Marijoy. But he was sent to such a bad place as Admiral. You think I'm very happy? Damn it. This damn guy. White smoke came up from Akainu, and he wanted to blow it through with a punch, but he could only endure it. Ching Shang was also full of cold. Crack, click. Garp ate the senbei, and smiled and said, has Marijoy been rebuilt? After so many celestial dragons have died, I shouldn't need so many CPO, right? Why don't you send a few more? This is not dead. CPO squad leader Konskarn, looking at Garp very unhappy at the moment. Wait, then. When I go back, take a look at you severely. His admiral title. Black Ape. The CP organization and Marine have never dealt with it. The Black Ape didn't even want to have a good relationship with Marine. Bulu Bulu. Bulu Bulu. At this time, a phone worm rang. Seeing this phone worm, Sengoku's solemn expression showed a smile like an old father, and then he was a little worried. Sengoku took the phone worm and left the office. After Sengoku left, the Black Ape said with disdain, is there anything to avoid, isn't it to contact the Holy Empire? Do you want to die? Akainu looked at the Black Boy sullenly. The Black Ape snorted and said nothing. It stands to reason that no matter how arrogant the Black Ape is, he will not be so idiotic to bluff at naval headquarters, but he follows the instructions of the 4 old stars. Try to pick things up, hit Marine. No, just do it. But the Black Ape was still a little bit scared, lacking courage. What? The Holy Empire is coming to North Blue. A shock came from a distance. Sengoku couldn't take care of that much and went back to the office. He quickly raised his hand and motioned to Crane to make a transcript. As soon as Sengoku sat down, he said in a deep voice, Shao Mi Guo, confirm again, is the Holy Empire descending on North Blue? The generals were surprised. Chi sat up straight. Dasenbei, I'm pretty sure. Rosinante's voice came from the phone worm. 12 years ago, Sengoku was 48 years old. A child was picked up somewhere and brought him into Marine thinking that he had no relatives. Later, after knowing that it was Doflamingo's younger brother, he was sent to work as an undercover agent. Rosinante is codenamed Xiaomi, Fruit. Sengoku is codenamed Daxianbei. In fact, it was Rosinante who applied for it on the initiative to prevent Dover from running out of evil. Not waiting for the response of the crowd, there was another voice from the phone worm. They descended from the sky, carrying thousands of aircraft, and a huge suspended ship. A squad of hundreds of people landed on Trans Island, and the Don Quixote family joined the Empire. I have exposed. According to my analysis, the Empire targets the entire North Blue. Rosinante said very quickly, and in the end, Rosinante smiled easily. While you are not completely old, remember to take good care of your health and marry a wife. I'm leaving, old man. Baloo Baloo, as the phone worm hangs up. The whole office was silent, and I haven't recalled from the news yet. Millet Fruit. Sengoku couldn't help but tears. He worked his life at Marine without marrying a wife and having children, but accidentally adopted the original celestial dragons as a godson. In the end, he didn't hold on, also at this moment. A dazzling golden light flew from the sky, and in the surprised eyes of Akainu and others, a figure condensed through the window. Hello everyone, I'm back. Oh, you all put on Admiral cloaks. Excuse me, do you have mine? Black outfit. Finished. What should I do now? Yes, listen to Master Star. No, just do it. Boom. The room burst into pieces. Hey cough cough. A figure flew out, coughing up blood continuously on the ground, and his body was directly hit hard. Rosinante looked up. I saw Dover walking blankly, followed by angry family members. My lovely brother. Mistakes can be forgiven, but betrayal is never allowed. You betrayed me. I just understand it now. The only ones in my family are them. Doflamingo looked at each other indifferently, and Rosinante did not speak, lit a cigarette and took out a gun in his arms. Pointed at Doflamingo. Rosinante spoke word by word. Number 01746, Naval Headquarters, Rosinante Commander. Doflamingo, Captain of the Don Quixote family, I sneaked in to prevent the tragedy you caused. Firstham, Marine. Wow, one sentence. Pika and others were shocked. They thought that Rosinante ran away because they had their own ideas and did not want to join the Empire, thus betraying the family to find another way out. Unexpectedly, turns out to be Marine? Advertisement? This is more than just betrayal, this is for Dover to die. Unforgivable, you are the younger brother of the young master, it is simply unforgivable. Diamante and others were so angry that they exploded. Even if the other party hasn't done anything yet. But what they will do someday, just leak some news, and they will be able to play with their dead young master. The anger is hard to calm. Doflamingo was silent for a moment, and said without emotion in his voice. Really, I specialize in doing some useless things. Also took out a gun. Doflamingo took the gun at Rosinante. Why be a Marine, why force me to kill my real family twice? Rosinante was silent. Father gave up his identity as celestial dragons, took them all the hard way, and was bullied all day long. He was lucky and was adopted by Sengoku, and brother, was raised by the pirates. In this deformed world, it's hard to tell right from wrong, and it's hard to say good from evil. Rosinante didn't want to explain anything. You can't shoot me. You look so much like your father. Looking at Rosinante, Dover's voice trembled a little. Betrayed the family and committed public anger. Woo. At this time, a flash of thunder flashed in the void. Seeing, smelling and perceiving something, Dover just wanted to stop it. Puff. Chidori's sharp gun. It penetrates Rosinante's head. He died on the spot. Doflamingo turned around, raised his hand to the distance and used it fiercely. Super Strike Whip. Dozens of thin silk threads are protected into a very thick string, and everything is split wherever they go. Boom. The ground was split with a crack of hundreds of meters long, and many buildings were directly broken. I didn't care about your business before. Sasuke lightly landed on the ground, holding his arms indifferently and said, but you who joined the empire can't be a B******************* D who kills even your own brother. If you want revenge, I'll wait for you. The audience fell silent. Doflamingo took a deep look at Sasuke, then turned away without saying a word. Family members face each other. With Dover leaving, Wilgo, Diamante, Torpal and Pika. The four surrounded Sasuke. What, do you want to die? Sasuke raised her head proudly, not afraid of the four guys who were more than 2 meters tall and more than 5 meters tall. What surprised Sasuke was, the four bowed one after another, full of sincerity. Thank you for shooting for Dover. If you need it, please feel free to find us, even if it's a terrible thing, thank you solemnly. What are you doing? It wasn't until the four of them left that Sasuke recovered, and his face flushed and said, who wants you to thank you, a bunch of bastards. Oh, idiot Sasuke, is this shy? It's a pity that I forgot to bring my camera. Naruto didn't know where it came from, and was full of ridicule. Sasuke got angry instantly and rushed over. Idiot, Naruto, go to hell. Ha ha ha, you can't hit me. Naval headquarters, the atmosphere is very strange. Sengoku was still sad, and the other generals were both sad and happy. Worry about the Empire's ambitions. The news has been confirmed from the North Blue Branch Marine that the Empire is attacking all North Blue Islands. Surrender to life, not to die. At present, the news has not spread, or the spread is not wide. Otherwise, the whole world will be a sensation. The good news is that Kizaru is back. But Kizaru and the Black Monkey got on the bar. My admiral was arranged above, you continue to be your vice admiral, and I will give it to you when my talents become available. The Black Ape spoke extremely hard. They're all apes, who is afraid of whom? I've only been away for a few days, and even the position of admiral was robbed. Is Kizaru really angry? He has worked so hard for decades, and finally got out of his head, but was cut off. What makes Kizaru most angry is, the title of this guy is Black Ape. A few meanings, is he really dead, Black Ape? You are so terrible? Kizaru smiled angrily when he saw the Black Ape showing someone above me. Do you spell background? I will kill you today, don't ask, I want to be quiet. Waved his hand to interrupt the curiosity of Akainu and others. Kizaru knew what they wanted to ask, but how they survived. This problem, Kizaru said that he needed to edit it. That white Zetsu was too irresponsible, he didn't give him any tasks, Dino. And he threw him to Sky Island to finish it without saying a word. It's really just playing, I really don't take this world marine seriously. Minister, are you there? Kizaru closes his eyes to rejuvenate his mind, communicates secretly, dials in psychic power, and communicates in mind. After hearing White Zetsu's reply, Kizaru was shocked. Black Ape. When was the monster Vice Admiral Kizaru so good-tempered that he didn't even turn his face? Akainu and Aokiji also feel weird. Although Kizaru looks like an old fritters, he can talk to anyone. But it does not mean that you have no temper, break the future. It's like killing a parent. Kizaru just sat down and closed his eyes to rest up his mind. Maybe it's because I didn't rest. After all, I don't know how to escape from that red-eye strange space. It must be a difficult journey. Minister, my position as admiral was robbed, and I asked for someone to slaughter the waste. Kizaru's heart is full of resentment. Isn't this bullying honest people? Honest people can kill you if they get angry. Mean, kill admiral? White Zetsu came with interest and quickly replied, wait, 2 hours later, he will die as you want him to die in 2 hours. Good. Kizaru glanced at the Black Ape. Black Monkey, wait to die. Sengoku said in a deep voice at this moment, the Holy Empire will be handled in advance, and Kizaru's matter will also be explained. 2 hours later, the promotion ceremony will be held. Everyone is ready to prepare. Kizaru was shocked. Then he smiled weirdly. 2 hours later? Festival of the Year. Chapter 29. Marshal's Promotion Ceremony. Isunade is here to kill Admiral. Advertisement time flies. 2 hours passed quickly. The Holy Empire's attack on North Blue also began to spread across the world. But the naval headquarters thing. For the time being, the world's eyes were drawn over, attracting countless people's attention. Today the Marshal and Admiral are promoted, and it is the first time to complete 3 Admiral in decades. After all, the previous generation only had Sengoku and Zephyr, and Garp didn't want to be a life or death. Reporters from major newspapers gathered. Start live broadcast all over the world. Inside the Marshal's office. So, you escaped from the elementalization of the space crack because of the unexpected collapse of the different space? Listen to Kizaru's explanation. The generals understood. There is no need to doubt anything at all. Especially Chingshong and Akainu have a lot of feelings. After all, the last time the space in the Imperial Palace of Heaven collapsed unexpectedly, and luckily encountered the space crack and escaped. Akainu snorted. It seems that the different space needs physical strength to maintain, and it can't last too long. What starves us to death, it's just a dream. Kizaru shrugged and said nothing. The physical strength of the ghosts is maintained. If there is no accident or release, they will not be able to escape from the alien space to death. I communicated with the above, and let the Black Ape be admiral for the time being. Seeing Kizaru remain silent, Sengoku knew that the other party felt uncomfortable and comforted, but as mentioned above, the Black Ape will be 10 years at most, so he abdicated. Well, I have no objection. Surprisingly, Kizaru chuckled lightly, showing no anger at all. In this case, it's time, let's go out. Sengoku put on the marshal's cape and led everyone out of the office. Aokiji patted Kizaru on the shoulder and said with a serious face, I'm wronged you, brother. Akainu passed by Kizaru and left a sentence. If you are really angry, I will beat the Black Ape with you, that's it. Whoops. I am so touched. Kizaru smiled inexplicably, and once took a look at the Black Ape, and said, Hey 203 Yuan Admiral, don't be killed by a pirate someday. Humph, I won't die if you die. With a cold snort, the Black Ape picked up the Marine Admiral cloak and walked out of the office. Kizaru MIIs. See when you finish, on Marineford Square. Standing full of Marine and reporters, they took the videophone worm and pointed them at Sengoku and others who came out. Live streaming. From now on. People all over the world, especially the pirates, pay special attention. After all, Marine is a deadly enemy. Oh, now the next generation Martial Marine, Sengoku of Buddha. Sakazuki in a red suit, Vice Admiral, the 3 world-famous monsters, was promoted to Admiral under the codename Akainu. The white suit Kuzan, codenamed Aokiji, was promoted to Admiral. 2 monsters, the pirates are in trouble. The last thing is. The president of the World Economic News Agency, Morgan, said this excitedly, with a tone of voice. Huh? A white suit again? I don't know it. A Marine handed the note over at the right time. Morgans glanced at it and exclaimed. Wow, Marine 3rd Admiral Konskin, codenamed Blackscar. As he said, Morgan saw a man in a yellow suit following him, and he was stunned. God, the last monster Bluzolino is still alive. He, the Admiral alternate codenamed Kizaru, was taken the position of Admiral by the Black Ape. Black Ape Admiral must be a stronger monster, right? Wow, many people all over the world say it is very different. The monster Kizaru is terrible with 1 bite and 1 kick with a reward of over 100 million pirates. Was it brushed down by an unknown guy? For a time? The Black Ape has received great attention. You must know that Marine Admiral is the highest combat power of naval headquarters and the highest combat power of world government. You can't say that Marshal is better than Admiral. Because everyone's strength has an upper limit. There may be differences in physique, hockey, fruits, etc., but there is no spike between the highest levels. To become an Admiral, the strength must have reached the top of the world, otherwise the world government cannot afford to be killed by anyone. And this Black Ape, is it a monster that countless people have never understood? Dedudu, Konskan, if I remember correctly, he is the captain of the CPO, and he can rank in the top 3 of CP0. But even he is definitely not as powerful as the monster Kizaru. Trans Island has been completely won, and Doflamingo has adjusted his mood to watch the live broadcast. CP0, most of them come out of the assembly line, they are better than Kizaru and others who have been fighting countless since childhood. Gara said flatly. As far as I know, Huang Yuan was taken back to the Imperial Academy of Sciences. Gara didn't say anything, he didn't understand it very well, but everyone understood. Kizaru can come out alive. It must be his own. Doflamingo smiled, do-do-do-do-o, then there will be a good show. Much attention. The audience was solemn. Sengoku boarded the high platform, took the amplified phone number and said, today, yes. But Sengoku's words did not fall. There was a cold voice from the sky, and the voice of a woman swept the audience. Today is the day when Admiral falls. Wow. The audience was in an uproar. People all over the world sat up straight, staring at the screen. Who? Sengoku screamed, seeing and hearing colors came out, perceiving all directions. The generals perceive and look up. I saw a space Uzumaki appearing on the top of the highest building at the headquarters, from which a blonde woman in a white military uniform walked out. The momentum was awe-inspiring, and the beer roared the audience. It's her, it's her, it's her. The natural-looking suit, with a unique appearance, has become Vice Admiral's extra charge today. Her eyes flashed with terror and said, she was one of the women who robbed the headquarters of the treasure house that day, a member of the Holy Empire. What? Also robbed naval headquarters? If he blurted it out, countless people's eyeballs were shocked. Morgans was even more excited to shoot again and again. Big news, this is the real big news. Hear the extra words. Advertisement Akainu and others did not do it the first time, but constantly perceive the surroundings to see if there are other empires coming. People of the Holy Empire? But Admiral Black Ape yelled loudly, good come, just use your life to spread my reputation. Master Si Lao Xing must be watching, it's time for performance. As long as this woman is taken down neatly, his position will be more stable. The Black Ape Admiral Baller Moonwalk rushed to the top of the building, producing a huge sonic boom with every step. Seeing this, Sengoku said solemnly, I locked this place with all my strength, and we must never let her leave. AHFH, Kizaru said in a weird tone. Marshal, she came out of the Uzumaki space, who can stop her going? Upon hearing this, the generals sank in their hearts. They also thought of White Zetsu and Obito at the same time, because those two have spatial abilities. This woman will never do too. It is possible that White Zetsu or Obito also came, and they haven't noticed it yet. Also at this time. Boom! The roar burst out. Many Marines and reporters at the scene felt their eardrums hoarse, and they were blown away by the strong airwaves. Boom 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 boom. A figure turned into a streamer from the roof and flew back, killing many people along the way and smashing into the ground fiercely. The audience fell silent. Morgans, who had stabilized his body, suddenly became a bird fruit albatross shape, spreading his wings and flying. Aerial photography passed, exclaimed again and again. Oh, it's incredible, Admiral Black Ape was blown away by a woman with a punch. Who is coming? It's too powerful. With that, Morgans patted the roof again, and the blonde woman there calmly retracted her fist. This beautiful blonde woman, in the eyes of countless people, plainly said, I, Tsunade, Admiral, Holy Empire Air Force, have only one purpose today. Kill an admiral for fun. Those who block me die. Wow, countless people were dumbfounded. A woman, alone in the naval headquarters, in front of so many top powerhouses, bluntly said to kill Admiral. Charlotte Linlin is not so arrogant. The people of the Holy Empire are really unreasonable. Countless people have also remembered Tsunade and the Imperial Air Force. Will there be other troops? This woman is even more arrogant than lousy. How can this work? Kaido is extremely upset and excited on the Ghost Island. This woman is really G-Hockey. Roar. Without waiting for the boys to speak, Kaido directly transforms the dragon and flies towards the naval headquarters, making the boys match each other. Forget it, the boss won't die anyway, just let him go. Is Tsunade? Do you know what you are doing? You underestimate Marine? Sengoku is so angry that he will explode. When will he not come? He must come during the live broadcast. It is simply trampling on Marine's dignity. No, first never underestimate Marine, it's just. Tsunade stroked her hair lightly, and said indifferently, the Marine Admiral in your world, such as the Black Monkey just now, I really didn't care about it. Roar. Before the words fell, there was a roar from the huge pit, extremely bloodthirsty. Boom. As if Mount Tai was pressing on the top, cracks appeared in the square overwhelmed. A huge figure appeared in the dust, making Kizaru exaggerated. Oh, it turned out to be a black monkey, you are so scary. Hiss. When the dust is gone. Standing on the square was a giant ape that was over 100 meters high, with a body like obsidian, and it was burning with black flames. Zone Ape Fruit, Eudemon's King Kong Great Ape Form. It greatly enhances its own strength, resilience, defense, and can use the black inflammation that burns everything. Okay, so tall. Some giant vice admirals stared at the giant ape in the center of the square. Generally, giants are about 20 meters away, but this great ape is nearly 200 meters tall, which is much taller than the 180-meter San Juan wolf. It was even more armed with black flames, and countless people lost the courage to fight. Let the black ape test Tsunade. Sengoku motioned the generals and marine to stay away. His main guard is still other empire powerhouses who may be hidden. He didn't believe it. Tsunade came alone. Your strength is good, woman. The black ape's voice is like the roar of thunder, and the eyes are like a small house, staring angrily at the Tsunade the size of an ant. I was careless just now. Next, I will crush you to death with a punch. Tsunade disdain. No one can say big things. Boom. The black ape moved and hit with a punch, entraining the blazing black inflammation. Before it fell, it caused a great wave. Good job. Seeing this punch like a mountain, Tsunade's eyes shimmered slightly, and he clenched his fist as well. Weird power punch. This huge difference in body shape caused countless people to sweat for Tsunade. Holy text. Power. Break out. Boom. Under the astonishment of countless people, Tsunade's not-so-large body blasted out a shockwave from the sky with one punch. The huge range covers the black ape's whole body. Boom. The black monkey's fist was directly blasted open, full of cracks, and the shockwave blasted on him undiminished. Huh. The huge body of the black ape flew upside down, toward the sea. Ice Age. Shang Shang quickly froze in the sea. Boom. Huge body on the ice. The audience was silent. Chapter 30. Marshal, I can't stop. The Black Ape Admiral was taken away. Advertisement, fake. Fake, Hyuan Admiral used his abilities, but he was blown away again. The woman named Tsunade is too strong. Yeah, this is big news. Countless people exclaimed, Morgans trembled in excitement, and kept patting. Compared to Logia's gorgeous attack, the Tsunade and the Black Ape just now were a collision of power, which stunned countless people. Well, this woman is not bad too, and I also sent her a tea party invitation letter. On Cake Island, Charlotte Linlin was laughing while eating cake. Keita Curry and others were speechless. Conan, Hyuga Hinata, plus this violent woman, if you invite them all. If you accidentally conflict, God knows, will the Cake Island be broken? No, they will definitely be broken. Those three women and their mothers are all monsters. She is very powerful. Looking at Tsunade on the top of the building, and then at the black ape lying on the ice, Garp spoke cautiously. However, the generals were not too worried. They are all top levels in the world. No one can win another person in a short time, let alone they're on guard. Have you found it? Sengoku looked at Akainu and others. Until now, he hadn't sensed other imperial people, which made Sengoku feel uneasy. The generals shook their heads. Is it true that Tsunade came alone? In that case, let's go together and take her down as quickly as possible. Soon, Sengoku made a plan. Now is the time for the promotion ceremony to be broadcast live all over the world, and Tsunade must not be messed up. Maybe I can win Tsunade. Then I first. Kizaru was about to do something, and Uzumaki appeared again in the space ahead. Don't move, Kizaru. Obito walked out of Uzumaki, pointed the gun at the yellow ape, and grinned. You are so terrible to point a gun at me, Kizaru talked, complaining in his heart. Are there any mistakes? You are entangled with the armed captain anyway, and you are holding a toy gun and pointing randomly. Why can't I go on acting? Forget it, you still don't know how to be armed. Sure enough, there are others. The generals ignored Kizaru's strange expression and looked at Obito extremely seriously. You don't need to watch it, I came here alone with Tsunade-senpai. Obito took out another grab and pointed it at Sengoku. It's fine for you to watch the show. If you shoot, I will just continue to call people. The result must be the collapse of Marineford. Want to try? Damn it, too arrogant. Sengoku raised his hand to stop the general's anger, and said solemnly, justice will never fail. Obito shrugged and ignored it. He knew Sengoku had compromised. Perhaps it was to prevent Marineford from becoming a battlefield, causing Marine a lot of casualties. Or maybe, he has an opinion about Yuyin Admiral, regardless of whether he is dead or not. If you win, strengthen Marine's prestige. If you lose, then lose. It just happened to vent his dissatisfaction with the arrangement of the 4 old stars, and let his own Kizaru come to the top. It's the poor black ape admiral, no one loves no one. After understanding the thoughts of the generals, Obito smiled. Then congratulations to Mr. Kizaru for becoming the new admiral. Where, the black ape is still very strong, and we can't draw conclusions too early. Kizaru smiled unabashedly, making Aokiji and others speechless. When did you guys have such a good relationship? You wish the black ape would die now. Minister White Zetsu actually invited the Air Force Admiral Tsunade, but I don't know how strong it is. Kizaru's eyes were erratic. Although he hadn't seen a few high-level empires, he remembered the basic information very clearly. It is still fresh in the memory of the Imperial Air Force. Because both the Air Marshal Kagaya, Admiral Kushina, Tsunade, and Mikoto are all women. Thinking about Konan and Hinata and the Secretary General Goddess Athena, Kizaru found that the women of the Empire couldn't afford it. Hope, I can kill the black ape. Kizaru looked at Tsunade expectantly. Boom. The ice outside Marineford was full of cracks, and the Admiral Black Ape in the form of the giant golden ape, which was nearly 200 meters in size, stood up again. Large shadows fell on naval headquarters. Damn it woman, you angered me. Admiral Black Ape roared. He was blown away by a woman twice, and angrily he raised his hand and rolled up a large piece of black inflammation. Turned to ashes. The black flames turned into a sea of flames and rushed towards Marineford, extremely hot. This be ************, Sengoku shouted angrily. The island is full of Marines, and they are unscrupulously making moves. Ice Age. Aokiji shot again. Mori White's cold air filled the sky, freezing all the black flames that hit. Black Ape, I'm going to fight on the ice, this guy. Seeing Chingshong freezing his own flame, the black ape didn't need to shrink his pupils. Also at this time, brush, Tsunade disappeared instantly. The next moment he came to the sky above the black ape. Tsunade clenched a fist and said sarcastically, isn't the 200-meter giant ape a target, idiot? Weird power punch. The power of holy text has exploded again. As soon as Tsunade's fist blasted out, it formed a huge golden punch, which was full of destructive power. Daimi. The black ape also reacted very quickly. The black flame was only incidental to the abilities of the Eudemons, and the strongest was the increased physical strength. That hill-like fist immediately collided with the golden fist. Boom. Quan Jin and fist met in an instant, as if two meteorites collided and directly detonated the void, erupting with an earth-shattering boom. Boom. The black ape standing on the ice sank, causing the ice to break. Ice Age. Aokiji was speechless, and once again froze in the sea that was about to appear below the black ape. The strength is not bad, but I said, your huge body is a target. Tsunade disappeared in place after speaking. He appeared behind the black ape in an instant, and before he turned around, he slammed a punch. Boom. The power of terror erupted. The black ape's huge body of 200 meters was shocked by countless people and was blown away again. Brush. Tsunade came to the inverted black ape one step faster. Punch again. Titicaca. The sky kept roaring, and Tsunade flashed back and forth in the sky like a white flash. Every flicker is a terror boxing, smashing the armed defense forcefully, and blasting on the black ape's body. The black ape flew backwards and forwards in the sky like a ball. At the same time, there was a large amount of blood mist swaying. This idiot. Seeing this scene, Akainu was so angry that he wanted to replace Tsunade and beat the black ape. What are you doing to make your body so big? Being so big can slow down the body's response. Frightened things like Vice Admiral is okay, but it's a target for top powerhouses. Roar. The black ape roared again. His voice was full of pain and anger. Tsunade's fist made him feel the pain of tearing his soul. Ape-man form. Tsunade punched empty. Advertisement. Because the black ape's body shrank rapidly, in a blink of an eye, it shrank from 200 meters to 5 or 6 meters high. For those with zone ability, human form, beast form, orc form, the third form is undoubtedly the strongest. Zertzi. In Tsunade's astonishment, the black ape in the form of Ape-man recovered from his injuries very quickly. But Tsunade didn't care. What about the strong body's resilience? Can you still recover from the soul injury? Every punch of her. all carry tyrannical spiritual power. Damn it, As Tsunade thought, the pain in the soul made the black ape growl uncontrollably. I want you to die. The black ape roared with bloodshot eyes, all arm colors advanced, black flames wrapped in his fists, and he quickly attacked Tsunade. Break it to me. Tsunade's all-spiritual power exploded, assisting the holy text, and blasted a shocking blow. The fist movement turned into a light beam of heavenly spiritual power, and under everyone's breath, it directly penetrated the black ape's arm color and penetrated the fist. Crack. The black monkey's right hand broke directly. The intense soul-tearing pain in his right hand short-circuited his thoughts for an instant. Boom. Taking advantage of your pain to kill you, Tsunade kicked out, kicking out a beam of spiritual power again. The abdomen is directly penetrated. The black ape was blown out by the tyrannical force. When the black ape flies upside down, Tsunade's attack did not stop. The great sage. Tsunade summoned a huge spiritual bow with many arrows shaped like a giant spear in midair, which made the heart palpitating. And this kind of bow and arrow, the pupils of Sengoku and others shrank. I thought Hyuga Hinata's large divine destruction was powerful enough, but Tsunade's bow and arrow were obviously stronger. No, stop her. From a distance, you can feel the astonishing fatal aura on it. What can the black ape who temporarily loses resistance in the inverted flight stop? Akainu and Aokiji are preparing to do it, buzzing. Uzumaki, a huge space, obstructs everyone and is heart palpitating. They have some doubts whether the space of Obito can swallow the entire Marineford. Although I can't stop you for too long, after all, you are crowded, but a second or two is enough. 0. Look for flowers, not waiting for Obito to finish. Boom. There was an earth-shattering roar in the distance. Several arrows, like giant spears, cut through the void as fast as lightning, and directly caught up with the black ape in the inverted flight. And launch a devastating blow to it. Boom. The great sacred bow exploded on the black ape like a nuclear explosion, setting off a terrifying energy tide. Pieces of ice on the sea ravaged the destruction, and a powerful aftermath swept towards Marineford. I flash. Obito gave a smirk, and immediately evacuated Kamui Uzumaki out of the way. Let the aftermath hit Marineford. Armed out, Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru. The three of them stood in a row and raised their hands in a posture of pushing the wall. 3 armed colors burst out, forming an indestructible armed barrier, blocking all the aftermath. But the outside of the island has been roaring constantly. All marine and reporters, as well as the audience watching the live broadcast, were silent. The frozen sea completely collapsed. Even if the black ape is not dead, it will fall into the sea. It is conceivable that the capable person will fall into the sea. This black ape, Admiral, won't die, is it so weak? I don't know who shouted, and many people agreed. Black ape. Your uncle, there is a kind of come and fight me. Damn it. Sengoku's face was ugly. He can make excuses for the black ape, saying that it was careless, or saying that the ice surface is not suitable for him to fight, or saying that he doesn't understand Tsunade's intelligence and so on. But it's useless to speak out. The world only saw Admiral dignified and blasted into the sea by a woman with 3 blows and 2 feet. Even if he didn't die, he was defeated. Marine's majesty swept the floor again. Kizaru cut his knife decisively. The Admiral sent from above is so strong, it was so easy to be seriously injured and bombed into the sea, it really scared me to death. Yes, it's the yellow monkey, you are strong, and the black monkey is rubbish. Obito joined together, making Kizaru's eyelids jump. Captain, I am not a monkey. When the roar disappeared, the waves subsided, and the aftermath dissipated, everyone looked at it. Really? There was no black ape in the sea. The black ape that fell into the sea neither died nor wasted. Not dead yet. Sensing Ryatsu, Tsunade raised his eyebrows slightly. Although he was not dead, he was seriously injured. Lost all resistance in the sea. The weakness of the capable is too obvious. Afraid of sea, fear of sea stone. Except for a few capable people, being bombed into the sea is the end of the battle. Obito, the mission is over, let's go, goodbye everyone. Everyone in the Imperial Dynasty waved their hands, and Uzumaki swept him away and appeared again next to Tsunade standing on the sea. You go too. Obito's Mangekyo once again moved forward. Space Uzumaki kept rolling the sea, and soon swept away the weak black ape. Stop. Put down the black ape Admiral. Looking at the space, Uzumaki is about to take the black ape and Tsunade and disappear. It turned out to be Kizaru. Bakai-chan go you. Kizaru opened wide, and the sky filled the space Uzumaki. But it's useless. Until the space Uzumaki disappeared, Kizaru said with an ugly face. Marshal, I can't stop them, they ran away. It's not you to blame, what can Sengoku say? Obito's ability is too poor, and his running ability is first rate, no one can stop him. Oh, Admiral Hyuin. Kizaru's voice was full of grief. This scene was filmed by Morgans. Look, Kizaru is so concerned about the black ape who robbed him of Admiral. Kizaru Vice Admiral is too kind. In reality, in a different space in Kamui. The black ape fell to the ground seriously injured. But the physical injury recovered very quickly, and Obito directly locked him with a spiritual chain. Then he looked aside. Obito was a little speechless. What is your clone doing here? You take a look, it was Huang Yuan not far away. When Kizaru was attacking Uzumaki in space, his spiritual power clone became a photon and rushed in with the light bullet. Kizaru spirit body clone. Kizaru avatars and salutes. I have seen 2 chiefs. I want to talk to Admiral, the Black Ape. Tsunade. It was your Lingza communication who told people to kill the Black Ape. Are you ready to PS the Black Ape to death? Yukazaru is so bad. Chapter 31. The Holy Empire is too domineering, and the Revolutionary Army is completely withdrawn. Advertisement, puff. The Black Ape was kicked and woke up with coughing up blood. Suddenly found that he could not move, and lowered his head to find that he was bound by spiritual power chains, and the surrounding space was very gloomy. He looked up and saw the smiling yellow ape. There were Obito and Tsunade beside him. You, how are you? The Black Ape's eyes widened in disbelief. How do they stand together? Where is this place again? What about naval headquarters? Oh Kiss, isn't this the arrogant Black Ape Admiral before? His brain reacts so slowly. Kizaru's clone stepped on it and said with a smile, as you can see, I, Paluzolino, is a citizen of the Empire, and I called you to kill you. You're not dead, how can I be in charge? Are you surprised or surprised? The Black Ape's brain is blank. Kizaru's words were like a bolt from the blue to him, and his heart was broken. He joined Marine at the age of 26. He is 39 years old this year. Paluzolino, who has served Marine for 13 years, is actually a member of the Holy Empire? Who would dare to believe it, at least? The Black Ape had never thought about this possibility, because he directly ruled it out. Puff. The Black Ape, who had been seriously injured, vomited blood again, with a low breath. The next moment, the Black Ape roared, Damn Paluzolino, you must die, the world government will not let you go. Are you finished? Go to death when you finish. Kizaru Avatar Disdain, 23, lifted his foot and kicked the trash that grabbed Admiral's position. Wait. Obito stopped the yellow ape clone and raised his hand to envelope the Black Ape. Soul survey. The Black Ape's body stagnated, his eyes were dull. His will, mind, memory, etc. were discovered by Obito one after another. Quickly. Obito retracted his hand and smiled. Although there is no useful memory, there is an unexpected gain. 5 elders, 1 died. What? Kizaru appeared in astonishment. That is 5 elders. For him once, this was the upper layer of the upper layer. Kizaru's body has never been seen. After all, he is still Vice Admiral so far. Well, the blockade is very good. Few people know the news. The top-ranked CP0 happens to know. All that should be said, let's use waste, it's a new demon species anyway, throw him to the Academy of Sciences. Hear what Obito said. Kizaru Avatar smiled. Go there, but life is better than death. Outside the different space. Marineford, all reporters kept shooting. The live broadcast has not been interrupted. That's because Sengoku didn't expect the Black Ape to lose so quickly, it was too late to stop it. There is a lot of discussion all over the world. Kizaru's body is heartbroken. The Black Ape Admiral was killed, it's so pitiful. Do not, Sengoku took out a life card. Most of it burned, but it was not completely burnt. Kizaru's body was taken aback. The spirit clone didn't kill the Black Ape? Sengoku took the life card and said in a deep voice, everyone has seen it, the Holy Empire has captured Admiral, the Black Ape. They are more rampant than the pirates. This is against justice. Don't wait for anyone to return to their minds. Sengoku's voice changed. Justice will never lose. If you lose an admiral, we still have a new admiral. Poor Celino orders, from today you are the new Admiral Kizaru. Sengoku cut the mess with a sharp knife, forced his attention to Kizaru, ending the promotion ceremony as soon as possible. There is no need to report it at all. They must be watching the live broadcast and have no choice. Yes, Marshal. Kizaru solemnly took Admiral's cloak. The plan was a complete success. The Black Ape is good all the way. When Kizaru put on the Admiral cape, the moment of high spirits. Roar. A long chant came from a distance. All reporters were taken aback. Sengoku, Xingshang, Akainu and other generals all looked down. The dragon chants. You don't need to think about it to know that it's that lunatic. Good, very good. Everyone comes here to presumptuously. That red eye can run because of the spatial ability, I see how you run today. Sengoku's anger also came in spirit. Marine's lost majesty must be found in the dragon. Even if you can't kill him, I also want to vent my anger. All Admiral, join me, Garp, you too, Kaido. How about Tsunade people? Is it over so soon? Oh, the boss will have to be missing for a while. The Kaido brothers who watched the live broadcast are frowning, and Marine has nowhere to vent. Boss, this is hitting the muzzle. It must be locked up for at least 10.5 days. At the same time, North Blue was fully attacked. It started to spread to the whole world like crazy. After all, the Empire didn't even want to hide anything. This shocked countless careerists. The land of North Blue. There are many countries joining the world government. If the world government doesn't do anything, it will make other franchising countries chill. After all, the world government just lets them join and pays some protection fees every year. But the Holy Empire is different. Surrender is born. If you don't accept it, you die. No nobles, royal families, revolutionary army, marines, pirates, evil parties, etc. are allowed within the scope of the empire. Offer everything you have, kneel down to avoid death. You listen. This is the banner of the Holy Empire. Advertisement, only the word domineering can describe it. The Holy Empire cannot tolerate any other forces, either kneeling to join the empire, or kneeling to be hacked to death. Fortunately, those pirates can escape from North Blue if they are lucky. After all, the Empire has not yet blocked the entire territory. But the kings and nobles, where can they escape? No status is lost as soon as I leave. Escape from North Blue and face other greedy careerists. Out on a limb. While resisting, they kept asking for help from the world government. The only good news is, there are many North Blue islands, and the Empire just sends a large force of 10,000 troops, one squadron with 100 people, and at most 100 shares. Want to take the entire North Blue? It's impossible in a few months. Same. Empire's hegemony aroused public outrage. Like a revolutionary army, chief, the Holy Empire is too much. Our branch in Karo Island was destroyed directly, and all those who were unwilling to surrender were put to death. They are simply more domineering than the world government, and they are too ambitious. Karas, the commander of the Northern Army of the Revolutionary Army, wearing a black feather coat, was full of anger. Just a few hours. The Revolutionary Army suffered heavy losses in various bases in North Blue, which is the result of the fact that the Holy Empire has not yet made a large-scale march. After all, only the sacred troops were dispatched. With the appearance of Tsunade, countless people know that the Empire still has air forces at least. Calm down. Dorag said in a low voice. There was no emotion on his face, and he wanted to remain absolutely calm. The cadres calmed down. Dorag thought for a moment and calmly said, send North Blue's Revolutionary Army to fully withdraw, and our Revolutionary Army abandons North Blue. What? The cadres couldn't believe it. Although their current main direction is not in North Blue, they have paid a lot of effort there. How can it be withdrawn? Ivankov, with a dark purple explosive head, said without hesitation, Hip-hop, I agree with the leader's decision. Some cadres were puzzled and said, Chief, you must have at least one reason. Reason? A wry smile crossed Dorag's calm eyes, and he calmly said, North Blue is not the zero that we are qualified to participate in. We, too weak. Everyone was startled. Dorag continued, what if you don't leave? Go to war with the Holy Empire. The Holy Empire doesn't even care about the world government, so how can it care about us? Army Commander Karas couldn't get rid of his anger, but what about our dead companions? Hip-hop, Karas, you calm down. Ivankov made a round and suggested, how about our cooperation with the Holy Empire? Karas's expression lowered, he wanted to refute. But also understand that this is the best strategy. Dorag said calmly, dragons don't work with insects. I guess they haven't even heard of the Revolutionary Army. This sentence, it makes the cadres want to cry. They have worked very hard. Is it that the Revolutionary Army is so rubbish? But they do have to admit it. At least the current world government does not take them seriously, which proves that they are not as threatening as a top pirate group. It will take another 10 years to develop. Only then can the world government pay attention to it. Then why are we angry here? Some cadres speak weakly. This made Dorag not help but his eyelids twitched. Although we are weak, we are not ants, forget it. They really don't deserve to be angry, the most angry. At the end of those kingdoms that have not been attacked, many kingdoms have united without waiting for the world government to respond. We must admit that the Holy Empire is very powerful, and there are some strong ones that we cannot contend with. But they underestimated our strength. If there are too many ants, they can even kill an elephant. Only 10,000 people in that area, we can kill them even if we use the crowd tactics. The world government is also rubbish. After paying so much gold, even people dare not send it. Unity is strength. We have to fight the Holy Empire to the end and defeat the demonic forces. One by one, the phone worms showed the angry expressions of the kings. Die if you don't surrender. But they would rather die than lay down their wealth, power, status, etc. They are number one. Later generations, descendants and grandchildren will kneel. Which king can stand this? Now, inside Shinpan Ancient City. After the four veterans discussed, they finally decided on a strategy. Let's make a fuss, just take it easy. The greater the threat of the Holy Empire, the countries all over the world will understand how benevolent I am, world government. We just want heavenly gold. The Holy Empire wants everything you have, and you don't believe that kingdoms in other sea areas can stand it. Four old stars decided. Even if North Blue is fully occupied, they will never send troops. There are only painful lessons, in order to awaken the resistance of all countries in the world to the Empire. Sacrifice a North Blue. In exchange for the support of all the sea kingdoms, the four old stars felt that this strategy was perfect. Just right. Also take this opportunity. Look at the power of the Empire. North Blue. It's not that easy to be taken down. That is the strongest place in the world. At the same time, Baikonin, the commander of the Holy Army, initiated an imperial temporary meeting. The captains of the squadrons, and the representative of the Imperial Civil Service Naruluju, the Secretary Robin, and the Air Force 3 Admiral participated. Doflamingo was also summoned. After all, he is familiar with North Blue. Can save a lot of things. It's boiling over, cough cough. After entering the hall, Doflamingo just wanted to give a friendly smile, and then held back. Doflamingo wanted to slap himself very much to see how serious this is. How could he laugh here? Facing a group of high-ranking empires, Dover sat in the corner honestly. Everyone didn't look at him too much. Start the meeting directly.